Hanyu brings our MC, Lin Moyan, to the god of medicine, Shenshu, where he meets Princess Xiaodong. Upon meeting, Princess Xiaodong explains with a serious and worried expression, "My mother is suffering from corpse poison. That's why we need your help." But Lin Moyan, still puzzled, replies with confusion, "But how could I possibly be of any help in this situation?" At that moment, Shenshu, the god of medicine, steps forward and earnestly requests, "Please summon your skeleton. Through it, I might be able to gather some information and perhaps find a solution to the corpse poison." Hearing this, our MC silently nods and immediately summons his skeleton. Once the skeleton appears, everyone turns to Shenshu, waiting anxiously for what he has to say. But to everyone's surprise, Shenshu appears deeply troubled. His face turns tense, and with panic in his voice, he confesses, "I couldn't retrieve any information from this skeleton because it's far too powerful." As soon as Princess Xiaodong hears those words, her eyes widen in fear. Sweat forms on her forehead as panic sets in. Her final hope had just been crushed. With a trembling voice, nearly on the verge of tears, she asks, "Then what should we do now?" Seeing her so devastated, our MC feels sympathy swell inside him. He gently tries to comfort her and says with quiet regret, "Although I really want to help you with my current level, I just can't do it yet." Then, disheartened that he couldn't help Princess Xiaodong, our MC respectfully turns to Shenshu and says with formality and sincerity, "Senior medicine god, if there's nothing else, I'll take my leave now." Listening to his words, Shenshu gives a respectful nod and responds warmly, "Thank you so much for your efforts today, Lin Moyan. General Han, please escort the general on behalf of your grandfather." And with that, the MC walks away alongside Hanyu. As they both step outside the gates, we shift our view to Princess Xiaodong. Her eyes welling with tears, her heart broken. She begins to cry. Her voice quivers as she turns to Shenshu and asks, "Medicine god Grandpa, is my mother really beyond saving?" Hearing her emotional question, Shenshu's face grows solemn. With a heavy tone, he replies, "Corpse poison is the most bizarre and sinister toxin I've encountered in my entire life. So far, the only thing that shows any signs of neutralizing it is General Lin's summoned creature. Apart from that, there's no other way." Still crying, Princess Xiaodong asks again, her voice filled with desperation, "Is there truly no way at all to save my mother?" To this, Shenshu replies, this time with a glimmer of hope in his voice, "Perhaps we can only wait until General Lin breaks through to the divine level. But with how quickly he's progressing, that day may not be far off." After coming outside, Hanyu apologizes to our MC and says, "Junior Lin, thank you for going through so much trouble and giving us your precious time." Hearing her words, our MC replies with a calm and understanding tone, "It's nothing. These kinds of things happen." Then he bids farewell to Hanyu. And with determination in his eyes, he says, "When I have the strength, I will save her mother. I'm off to level up now." After that, he immediately sets off. His focus is clear, he wants to get stronger as soon as possible. He leaves from there and heads straight into the dungeon hall, walking directly toward the Beast God Plateau dungeon portal. However, just before entering it, he says to himself with confidence and clarity, "With the existence of the Beast God Plateau, I can level up quickly during the level 4050 phase. I'll just farm here until I reach level 50. Our MC now wants to level up and leave this place as fast as he can. Immediately after, he teleports into the dungeon. The moment he enters, we see a large number of people in a hidden area who instantly become active. All of them are cloaked in black shadows, giving off the presence of assassins. As our MC walks further in, one of them turns to his companion and asks in a serious tone, "Are you sure Lin Moyan has entered?" The other one confirms, "Yes, it's confirmed. He went in." Hearing this, all of them agree at once, "Let's go inside." To enter the portal, they all immediately grab the abyss black crystals in their hands. From those black crystals, a powerful dark abyss energy begins to surge out, flowing directly toward the portal. Overjoyed at the thought of finishing off our MC inside, they all start laughing loudly. One of them, laughing, says, "The White God and Peace God aren't inside the academy. They're out there slaughtering our forces." Another one laughs and adds, "But at the same time, this is our chance." A third one also laughs and says, "As long as we can kill Lin Moyan here, it won't be a loss for us." The dark energy emerging from the crystals starts entering the portal, and those shadowy figures begin to merge with the shadows themselves as they pass through one by one. As they enter and the dark energy mixes within the portal, a strange and unusual reaction begins to take place. Immediately, everyone nearby starts sensing the breath of the Abyss Demon and begins to wonder what's happening. Why is the breath of an Abyss Demon appearing here? Someone says in a frightened voice. Panic begins to spread among the crowd. Just then, a few people catch sight of the portal. As they notice the Abyss magic stone placed in front of it, they start shouting in fear. One of them yells, "No, that's the magic stone of an Abyss Demon." Another shouts in terror, "Those guys are from the demon-worshipping cult. They're targeting General Lin. A wave of fear spreads among the people. Someone screams urgently, "Something terrible is happening. Quickly inform the instructors." There was an atmosphere of panic among everyone. Nobody could understand what to do. Just then, a man arrives on the scene and addresses the crowd, saying in a calm but commanding voice, "All of you, stay calm. Why are you panicking for no reason?" As soon as he says this, that man also pulls an abyss crystal out of his pocket, and immediately crushes it with his fingers. The moment he does that, the energy from the abyss crystal begins spreading across the entire dungeon hall. As the dark energy begins to fill the room, the man starts laughing and says mockingly, "So, what if Lin Moyan is about to die? What are you all so nervous about? Once he's dead, Shajing Academy will be devastated." Someone in the crowd gasps in horror, "No, he's a member of the demon-worshipping cult, too." The energy from the abyss crystal continues to spread, and soon it engulfs the entire dungeon hall. All around the area, a purple-colored shield suddenly activates, sealing off the whole place. Seeing themselves trapped, people begin screaming in fear. Looking at the demon worshipper, their fear quickly turns into rage as someone shouts angrily, "How dare you? You have the audacity to act recklessly in Shajing Academy. You're courting death." Meanwhile, inside the portal, Lin Moyan also senses that something is going wrong. He immediately looks around and realizes that something strange is happening. He quickly looks up and sees that the sky is slowly being engulfed by dark fire energy. The moment he sees this, our MC becomes serious. With narrowed eyes and a focused voice, he says, This is the fire of the abyss." He couldn't understand what the abyss fire was doing inside the beast dungeon. His instincts sharpened, and he started scanning his surroundings carefully. Just then, the demon worshippers arrive. These were the same people who had entered the portal a short while ago with the intention of killing him. As they appear, they immediately fix their eyes on Lin Moyan, staring at him with fury. All of their eyes were glowing with a sinister purple light. Seeing them, Lin Moyan becomes a little tense. His gaze sharpens as he looks carefully at each of their faces. Suddenly, he realizes something shocking. These people are academy students. No, they're from the demon-worshipping cult. They've come here to kill me. Within moments, all those individuals start moving to surround our MC. They fan out quickly, forming a circle around him. In no time, they completely enclose him. Suddenly, as soon as they complete the circle, purple energy begins surging from their bodies, shooting upward toward the sky. At the same time, a mysterious formation starts to appear beneath their feet, glowing ominously. Right at the center of that formation stood our MC. From that very spot, a powerful dark energy begins to shimmer and intensify, pulsing beneath him with terrifying force. After our MC gets trapped inside the formation, all those people begin laughing loudly, their voices echoing through the dungeon, filled with madness. As they laugh, they all chant the same ritualistic words, "Burn my flesh, sacrifice my soul, summon the demon king to descend. Praise my flesh, sacrifice my soul, summon the demon king to descend." At this moment, their bodies begin to burn. Tears stream from their eyes as the flames consume them. Within seconds, their bodies are engulfed in fire until nothing remains but ash. But their energy pours into the formation, making it stronger. As their bodies are reduced to ashes, a surge of dark energy bursts out and shoots straight into the sky, opening a strange and terrifying ritual gate. From inside it, as massive amounts of dark energy gather, two enormous glowing eyes begin to emerge from the swirling darkness. As those glowing eyes open, they immediately lock onto our MC, staring at him with rage. Seeing this monstrous presence, our MC feels a chill down his spine. Shocked and tensed, he says, "Looks like they had a detailed plan all along. They waited for me to enter the dungeon just to trap and kill me. Are they planning a desperate, all, or nothing move?" Panicked but trying to stay calm, he quickly pulls a teleportation item from his pocket. Examining it anxiously, he says, "All my teleportation tools have failed. Only the Abyss teleportation stone still works." At this point, our MC could see no way to escape. He was overwhelmed with stress, his mind racing for a solution, but nothing came. However, just then, a massive hand emerges from within the swirling dark energy. Moments later, a terrifying flame demon king rises from the darkness, his entire appearance jagged and monstrous, a horrifying fusion of flame and shadow. As soon as he appears and spots our MC, he lets out a chilling, echoing laugh and says with a cruel grin, "Lin Moyan, this time you're not getting away." An intense confrontation unfolds on the Beast God Plateau as Lin Moyu comes face to face with the formidable Flame Demon King. Seeing the Flame Demon King before him, Lin Moyu's expression becomes extremely serious, a look of anger flashing across his face. In a rage, he says, "Flame Demon King, so it's you." The Demon King stood towering over Lin Moyu, his massive appearance making Lin Moyu seem small in comparison. However, Lin Moyu notices something amiss. No, something's not right, he thinks. Although he's much stronger than the clone of the barbaric Bull Demon King, he doesn't have the aura of a god-level being. A smile appears on his face, and laughing, he says, Is it because you don't have enough of Zanyan's power, or are you being suppressed by the instance rules, Flame Demon? This body of yours seems a bit weak. The Flame Demon King laughs in response. You're pretty perceptive to have figured that out. But so what? Even if this body can't unleash a tenth of its power, it's still more than enough to kill you. Flames blazed across the Demon King's body, and erupted from his eyes as the thought of killing Lin Moyu filled him with excitement. Confident, Lin Moyu smiles and asks, "Do you really think you're going to kill me?" As they spoke, dark power from a nearby stone had already enveloped a large section of the Beast Plateau dungeon, engulfing the area in dark energy. This energy caused a level 46 Highland Wild Wolf to be summoned, which then mutated into a level 52 mutated Plateau Wolf, roaring with intensified rage. Seeing the beast, Lin Moyu immediately activates his skeleton armor and lightning wings, preparing to fly away. One taking to the air, he laughs confidently, "You'll never be able to kill me here." A thought then crosses his mind, of all the places to end up, why did it have to be the Beast God Plateau? This place is filled with my weapons. Lin Moyu flies away at full speed. "You insect, you think you can run away from here?" The Flame Demon King shouts in anger. "Keep dreaming if you think you'll escape from me." Seeing that Lin Moyu isn't stopping, he roars again, "You can't run away. I'll burn you until there's not even ashes left of you." Suddenly, a huge eye appears behind the Flame Demon King, launching multiple laser beams directly at Lin Moyu. One weaving and dodging the deadly beams with intense focus, Lin Moyu thinks to himself, "If I want to kill the Flame Demon, I'll have to rely on two skills, Corpse Explosion and Strong Soldier. I must find the perfect opportunity for a one-hit kill. I can't give him even a moment to react." He decides to use his skeleton army as a distraction while he stalls for time. Without wasting a second, he summons his Sai. With a tense but confident expression, he summons the Soul-Eating Insect King and commands it to attack. The creature rushes toward the Flame Demon King and unleashes a powerful soundwave attack. "Where did this little bug come from? Interrupting my work," the Flame Demon King scoffs, grabbing the Insect King by the neck. Annoyed by the soundwave attack, he growls, "You're becoming too much of a nuisance." With a powerful flame from his hand, he incinerates the Soul-Eating Insect King, reducing it to ashes. Lin Moyu, still flying ahead, looks back to see his summon destroyed. A drop of sweat appears on his face as he thinks anxiously, although the Soul-Eating Insect King's strength was already falling short, I didn't expect it to buy me so little time. I don't know how long the Earth-touching Dragon God will be able to hold him off. Desperate for time, Lin Moyu summons the Earth-touching Dragon God, which immediately charges the Flame Demon King to block his path. "This kid sure has a lot of tricks up his sleeve," the Demon King says with irritation. The Dragon God attacks, catching him slightly off guard, but he quickly recovers and throws a powerful punch. The blow only slightly cracks the dragon's outer layer. However, the Flame Demon King continues his relentless assault, tearing the dragon's body piece by piece until it collapses, defeated. Once again, the huge eye appears and launches laser beams at Lin Moyu, who manages to dodge them, having gained some distance. But the Flame Demon King is right behind him, steadily closing the gap. "What's wrong now? Can't fly anymore," he taunts. "Truly surprising. At your level, not only can you fly, but you can also summon so many undead. The longer you stay alive in this world, the more harm it brings to my abyss. You must be eliminated." Dozens of laser beams rain down, creating a cage-like trap around Lin Moyu. He struggles to escape through the gaps, his speed significantly reduced. As expected of the Demon King, he thinks, "Not even the Soul-Eating Insect King or the Earth-touching Dragon God could buy me much time." Just then, a chill runs down his spine. He turns in shock to see the Flame Demon King's giant punch speeding straight at him. With no time to dodge, the powerful blow slams into him, sending him crashing to the ground. A cry of pain escapes his lips as blood splatters from his mouth. "So, this is the power of the Demon King," he thinks, clenching his fists in pain. "So, in the end, you've fallen into my hands. Now you'll die," the Flame Demon King declares with a loud laugh as continuous laser beams rain down on Lin Moyu. But amidst the dust and debris, aging cursed chains extend toward the Demon King, wrapping tightly around him. A skeleton, shaped debuff mark glows on his body, significantly weakening his abilities. Lin Moyu immediately follows up with a soul flame attack. "One enraged bastard, I'll tear you into 1,000 pieces." The Flame Demon King roars. He summons numerous floating eyes that pour down laser beams, attacking everything and attempting to break the chains binding him. After Lin Moyu falls to the ground, the Flame Demon King begins launching continuous laser beam attacks on him, and the entire area starts getting destroyed by the assault. At the spot where Lin Moyu had fallen, it was as if there was a rain of laser beams continuously pouring down from the sky in every direction. Somehow, Lin Moyu kept dodging and escaping to save himself from the countless attacks. He was in deep trouble, running here and there, trying his best to survive. Sometimes the laser beams would brush past his body, barely missing him. Some even grazed his face as they passed, leaving light scratches. But even those minor scratches were enough for Lin Moyu to realize just how powerful these attacks were. To avoid the deadly beams, he immediately activates the skeleton armor to protect himself. The armor helps shield him from the laser beams. As soon as he activates the armor, he instantly uses his soul flame and launches it directly toward the Flame Demon King. The attack hits the Demon King in the head, causing him to scream in pain. And during the impact of Lin Moyu's powerful attack, the Flame Demon King roars in anger. Just as I expected from you. You're gradually growing stronger at an incredible pace. If I let you become any stronger, you'll definitely become my greatest enemy in the abyss and keep interfering in my plane forever. On the other side, Lin Moyu's skeletons were fighting the mutated Plato wolves. Because of the power of the abyss, the wolves had become a little stronger, which was causing some trouble for his skeletons. However, Lin Moyu was working on a different plan altogether. By now, his skeletons had gathered a large number of corpses, having eliminated many wolves in the area. Lin Moyu believed this was the perfect time to begin executing his plan. The skeletons began loading the corpses onto their shoulders and moving toward him. Lin Moyu thought to himself, by now, my legions must have collected a large number of corpses. This is a great opportunity for me to begin working on my plan at full speed. The skeletons were running at full speed, carrying corpses on their shoulders, and Lin Moyu was ready. A huge number of corpses had been gathered so that he could use his next skill. The entire undead army was rushing forward. Immediately, the undead general activates military strength on all the skeletons, causing them to instantly rush into the area and stand firmly. Seeing this, the Flame Demon King laughed and said, "Should I kill off your summoned creatures first? They're causing too much trouble." He then launched laser beam attacks on all the skeletons, causing the attacks to rain down from the sky and crash straight into Lin Moyu's skeleton army. Notifications began to appear, 22 skeleton warriors have been eliminated. Then another message, 60 skeleton warriors have been seriously injured. Seeing his skeletons being eliminated continuously, the undead general immediately used the healing buff, and the skeletons slowly began to heal. The Flame Demon King laughed and said, "Even if you have healing skills, how long can these summoned creatures of yours actually last?" He continued to destroy Lin Moyu's skeleton army. Just then, a dead wolf's corpse came rolling toward him, and it suddenly exploded with a flash of red light right in front of him. Lin Moyu had used corpse explosion to stop the Flame Demon King. However, the explosion only caused a minor impact. Not even enough to make the Demon King's body move an inch, though it did create a light cloud of smoke. Watching this attack, the Flame Demon King laughed mockingly, "Too weak. Far too weak. So this is what your skill amounts to. I was being too cautious." The skeletons began throwing more wolf corpses toward the Flame Demon King, but laser beams intercepted them midair, preventing them from getting anywhere near him. Watching his attack fail, the Flame Demon King roared in fury, shouting Lin Moyu's name, "Lin Moyu, you are an insect. Stop struggling and embrace your death." With that, the Flame Demon King let out a loud scream, and flames erupted from his body, spreading across the entire area and setting Lin Moyu's skeleton army ablaze. Lin Moyu received a notification. 57 skeleton warriors have been eliminated. Feeling stressed and exhausted from running, Lin Moyu was still not ready to give up. He immediately commanded more of his skeleton warriors to return to the battlefield, and new skeletons began to be summoned continuously. Looking at them, Lin Moyu thought, "There's only one chance. I must kill him in a single blow." With that determination, he activated the Strong Soldier ability. A surge of energy started flowing through the skeletons. "The opportunity lies within the 30 seconds of the Strong Soldier skill," Lin Moyu declared. With the ability active, all their attributes received a 200 boost for 30 seconds. Empowered, the skeletons started picking up the wolf corpses and hurling them at the Flame Demon King with full force. The moment they reached him, Lin Moyu activated Corpse Explosion, causing a massive blast. But as the smoke cleared, the Flame Demon King was again completely unharmed. Laughing angrily, he said, "This kind of damage can't kill me. You better behave and just die," as he began walking toward Lin Moyu. Seeing him approach, Lin Moyu grew a little nervous and muttered, "Sure, I know I can't kill you." He stood alert, then thought to himself, "The boost from the Strong Soldier skill. That's my real killing move. My power hasn't just improved a little recently, it's grown by leaps and bounds." With this thought, he once again ordered his skeleton warriors to attack. The 30-second duration of the Strong Soldier skill was still active. At the same time, Lin Moyu activated his Soul Flame ability and launched it at the Flame Demon King. The attack struck, and the Demon King began to struggle and writhe in pain. "What skill is this?" He screamed in agony. "Why does it hurt so much?" Meanwhile, after successfully landing his attack, Lin Moyu charged forward again at full speed. With deadly seriousness, he thought, "I don't have much time. I must make the most of every second." Seeing Lin Moyu rushing forward, giant eyes once again appeared beside the Flame Demon King and started firing laser beams toward him. But Lin Moyu, dodging the attacks, continued moving forward with fierce determination. The Flame Demon King was continuously attacking Lan Lin had already tried every possible move against him. He even used Corpse Explosion, but it had no effect on the Flame Demon King. To escape, Lin tried to dodge and run again. But the large eyes of the Flame Demon King, which were continuously firing laser beams at Lin, started firing at him once more. Somehow dodging all those attacks, Lin kept moving forward, trying to save himself. To stop the Flame Demon King, Lin started thinking of a new plan. First, he thought of weakening the Flame Demon King's healing ability. To do this, while flying in the sky, he activated his skeleton armor, immediately landed on the ground, and activated the Poison Star Ring skill. Because of this, green poisonous smoke began to spread throughout the entire area, slowly surrounding it. Seeing this skill, the Flame Demon King laughed and said, "So, you actually have a poison-giving skill, too." As soon as he used this skill, Lin immediately summoned a large number of skeleton warriors, and the entire area was surrounded by them. Skeleton archers and skeleton mages were present all around. Right then, Lin quickly used powerful skills like Element Explosion and Soul Lock through his skeleton army. In total, he activated 4 to 5 different skills, and the skeletons began launching continuous attacks on their own. From atop a hill, the skeleton archers kept firing arrows toward the Flame Demon King, while the skeleton mages unleashed magical assaults without pause. All these attacks rained down like a storm, endlessly heading in the direction of the Flame Demon King. After unleashing these skills, Lin started running again because he knew very well that the Flame Demon King wasn't going to stop just yet. He had done all this only to buy a little time. Meanwhile, the skeleton warriors began to march into the poisonous smoke to deal physical damage to the Flame Demon King. A massive number of them entered the toxic fog one after another. Behind them followed a barrage of magic spells and arrows, all aiming straight at the Flame Demon King. Lin's skeleton warriors were busy holding back the antagonist while Lin was trying to escape from the scene. At this moment, he was under slight pressure. The expression of tension on his face was clear. While running away, he turned back to look at the battle his skeleton warriors were fighting, and said with focus and urgency, 15 seconds left. These skeleton warriors are my real trump card. Seeing the skeleton warriors coming at him again through the poisonous smoke, the Flame Demon King, still trapped in the toxic fog, got irritated and shouted angrily, "These annoying bugs are coming to attack me again. They keep pestering me." Meanwhile on the other side, Lin had summoned so many skeleton warriors that they had started to slowly drain his power, functioning by absorbing the energy from within him. During this, several violent blasts struck the Flame Demon King. These blasts were extremely deadly. The skill causes 500 of the target's own strength and damage, and its cooldown is 10 minutes. The violent blasts kept hitting the Flame Demon King continuously. Arrows were coming at him from one direction, magical attacks from another, and he was already stuck inside the poisonous fog, which was starting to cause him some difficulty. This situation was making him even angrier. Feeling completely surrounded, the Flame Demon King roared furiously, "You damn insects, get out of my way." He then immediately launched laser beam attacks on all of them. As soon as the laser beams fired, they started targeting the nearby skeleton warriors. However, at that very moment, Lin had already given the command to the undead general to carry out his role. The undead general, noticing that the skeleton warriors were taking heavy damage, began using Legion treatment. For this skill restored the power inside all the skeleton warriors, and the minor injuries they had suffered started healing rapidly. Seeing this, Lin exclaimed with determination, "I absolutely cannot let the skeletons die here. If that happens, everything will be ruined." That's why he had already ordered the undead general to continuously heal the skeleton warriors. Then, as soon as all the skeleton warriors returned to full form, they once again charged toward the Flame Demon King. This time, all of them used Brutal Blast and, one after another, they leaped forward, rushing in to launch a fierce attack. For a brief moment, silence fell over the entire area. Lin was watching everything very closely. There was tension on his forehead, a worry about what would happen next. Would his attack work or not? And just then, the entire area exploded. A massive blast erupted within the poisonous smoke, so powerful that it completely devastated the region and shook the very ground beneath it. Even after witnessing this enormous blast, Lin remained serious. With a grave expression, he thought to himself, "No experience feedback. He's not dead yet." Because of the explosion, a huge cloud of dust had gathered. After a few moments, the dust began to slowly clear, and as it settled, we finally saw the Flame Demon King. He was slightly injured. By the look of his condition, it was clear that Lin's blast had inflicted significant damage on him. Seeing him like this, Lin smiled and said with a mocking tone, "So, this is your true form, Flame King. You look really ugly now." Hearing Lin's words, the enraged Flame Demon King growled and shouted out Lin's name, "Lin Moyo, I will kill you with my own hands and send you straight to hell." The moment he said that, his body began to swell, and from within it, a blast-like reaction started to form. He was self-destructing. Seeing this, Lin became extremely worried and exclaimed in fear, "This isn't good. Within just a few seconds, the Flame Demon King exploded right in front of Lin's eyes. Lin didn't even have time to run away. All he could do was raise his arms in front of himself to shield his body. The skeleton armor he had been wearing was shattered into pieces from the force of the explosion. Enduring the full brunt of the blast, Lin gritted his teeth and said, "Damn demon, always pulling this kind of trick. My full-length defense should be able to withstand it." As soon as the explosion subsided, we saw the Flame Demon King again, except this time his body was no longer there. Through his remaining clone power, he looked at the still-standing Lin in disbelief and shouted, "This can't be. Why aren't you dead yet?" And right in front of him stood Lin, completely without clothes. His clothing had been destroyed by the explosion. Listening to the Flame Demon King's disbelief, Lin calmly replied, "It's time for you to leave this world now." Upon hearing this, the furious Flame Demon King howled, "Lin Moyo, I curse you with the soul of this clone. No, I curse you to never level up again. I curse your skills to be permanently sealed. This is a divine level curse. No one can undo it. Even if it can't kill you, I'll ruin you. In your future life, you will never forget this gift from your king." As soon as the Flame Demon King uttered those words, a dark-colored cursed demon energy shot straight toward Lin at full speed. This was the very curse the Flame Demon King was talking about. As it got closer, it pierced directly into Lin's body. But the moment this cursed energy entered him, Lin's body automatically activated status immunity, purifying the cursed energy from within. As soon as his body was purified, he thought to himself, "How unfortunate for you, Flame Demon King. I am immune to all curses." Right after that, a notification appeared for Lin, informing him that he had defeated the soul clone of the Flame Demon King. In doing so, Lin received 900 million experience points, and his sergeant badge increased by 1 level. Then suddenly, a golden light descended upon him, and he began to level up continuously, 3 to 4 levels in a row. Watching himself level up so fast, Lin smiled, and said, "I didn't expect the Flame Demon King to hand me such a nice pile of experience. It shot me straight up to level 48. After this, he immediately decided to leave the secret realm and teleported out. As soon as Lin exited the dungeon, he was shocked by the sight in front of him. The entire dungeon hall had been completely destroyed, and around him lay many dead hunters. Others were severely wounded. Seeing the scale of destruction, Lin approached some of the people nearby and asked one of them, "What happened here? Did the devils invade this place?" The man, upon seeing Lin, hurriedly replied, "General Lin, the battle is already over. The demon-worshipping society infiltrated the academy, but they've all been executed." Seeing him so nervous, Lin calmly reassured him and said, "Don't be nervous. Just tell me clearly what exactly happened here." The hunter then started telling Lin everything in detail. The story then shifts to the Abyss world, right into the territory of the Flame Demon King. There, Abyss fire is raining down from the sky, and the demons watching this unfold are left in utter shock. This is Abyss fire. What's happened to Lord Flame Demon King? At this moment, we see the Flame Demon King's palace completely engulfed in flames. Inside, the Flame Demon King sits on his throne, clutching his head in rage and yelling, "Damn that filthy insect. He cost me nearly 1/10 of my soul essence. I almost lost my title as Demon King because of him. Lin Moyu, I swear you will die by my hands." The demons tried everything to kill Lin Moyu. For example, the Flame Demon King, although he couldn't actually kill Lin Moyu, completely destroyed the dungeon hall. When Lin Moyu emerged, he discovered the devastation caused by the Demon Worship Society. In response, the Shenxia Empire's purge against the society continued for an entire half-month. In the deepest part of the abyss lies a massive palace, entirely enveloped in a glowing green light. Inside, several shadowy figures stand before a glowing object. The succubus queen is present, and beside her, a demon named Hashin Demon King asks, "Do you know why His Majesty has summoned us all here?" With some tension, the succubus queen replies, "It should be related to the recent actions of the human race. The Demon Worship Society in the Shenxia Empire has been almost completely wiped out." Also present were the Flame Demon King, the Sword Demon King, and the 8-Armed Demon King, among many others. When they had all gathered in response to their Majestic One's call, standing before a brightly glowing throne, waiting for his arrival. Suddenly, the entire palace began to burn with green abyss fire, and a shadow appeared at the center of the throne. It was the Abyss Demon Emperor, who looked extremely terrifying. His presence alone released a powerful pressure that filled the entire area. As he sat on his throne, a green aura and roaring flames spread across the surroundings. The moment all the Demon Kings saw the Demon Emperor, every single one of them dropped to their knees in respect. The Demon Emperor looked at them, and with just his eyes, released a pressure so intense that the Demon Kings began to sink into the ground, struggling to breathe. At that moment, the Demon Emperor called the succubus queen's name. Fearfully, she raised her head, her entire body trembling. Then the Demon Emperor furiously asked, "Recently, the humans have made some moves, especially the Shenxia Empire. They've almost completely eradicated the demon worship society. What do you think about this? The succubus queen bowed to the ground and stammered. This time, Bai Yaowen and Meng Yanwen acted together with the Shenxia tower. The attack came too suddenly. We didn't have time to organize an effective counterattack. Hearing this, the demon emperor seriously asked, what you mean is, in the face of the human race's purge, you did absolutely nothing. Her body tensed, and fear was clearly written on her face as she began to explain with a trembling voice, Bai Yaowen and Meng Yanwen have already left the academy. I ordered the Demon Worship Society to use this opportunity to ambush and eliminate Lin Moyu. Flame swore firmly that he would definitely kill Lin Moyu, which is why he took on this mission. The Flame Demon King started making excuses, nervously trying to explain himself, but before he could finish, the Demon Emperor coldly ignored him and turned toward the Succubus Queen. You speak, Succubus, what do you have to say? The Flame Demon King tried to continue, but the Demon Emperor sharply cut him off. So Flame Demon, did you kill him? The Flame Demon King immediately bowed his head to the ground, sweating profusely. In a terrified voice, he confessed, this subordinate underestimated the enemy, made a grave mistake, and failed to kill Lin Moyu. I beg your majesty for forgiveness. Consumed by rage, the Demon Emperor unleashed a terrifying pressure onto the Flame Demon King. 2 green flames surged forth, engulfing him in an instant. Agonizing screams echoed through the hall as he was burned alive. All the other demons kept their heads bowed in terror. Then the Demon Emperor spoke again. The loss of the Demon Worship Society is of no concern to this emperor. They were nothing more than worthless pawns. The real reason I've summoned you all today is for a few important matters. First, prepare for war and guard the entrance to the abyss. The dragon race is assembling their forces. A great battle is imminent. Second, among the humans, the Earth Knight is about to reappear. I have already sensed that hateful presence. Find him and kill him. With intense fury, he gave his final command, find Lin Moyu. Kill him. Do not allow him to advance to his third awakening. After that, the scene shifts to the human world, inside Bai Yaowen's courtyard, where King Dongfeng Yao and Bai Yaowen himself are present. Just then, Lin Moyu suddenly teleports and arrives. After the incident with the Demon Worship Society, he had been training on the Beast God Plateau for half a month and had now reached level 50. As soon as the king sees him, he smiles and says, God Lin has returned. Dongfeng Yao also respectfully lowers her head. The king then turns to Bai Yaowen and says, in that case, Lord Bai, we shall take our leave and not disturb you and your disciple any further. Bai Yaowen smiles gently and responds, King of the Eastern Nation, I appreciate your goodwill. What happened before was merely an unintended mistake on your part. There's no need to bring it up again. The king nods, says goodbye, and teleports away with Dongfeng Yao. As they leave, Bai Yaowen walks up to Lin Moyu, pats him on the shoulder and laughs heartily. As expected from the royal family, they're filthy rich. I spent half my life gathering those materials, and they just gave me even more than that in one shot. Meng Yanwen, who is sitting at the table sipping tea, remarks, this clearly shows how sincere they are and just how much they value this kid, Lin. Bai Yaowen proudly puffs out his chest and says, of course they do. After all, he's my disciple. Lin Moyu looks at his teacher and asks curiously, Teacher, you seem so happy. What exactly did the Dongfeng family compensate you with? Bai Yaowen replies excitedly, not only did they fully restore all the materials you used during your second awakening, but they also nearly completed the materials needed for your third awakening. I've stored the other things for later use, but there's one thing you can use right now. He then brings out a box containing intermediate level flash skill scrolls. You've just reached level 50. It's the perfect time to awaken a new skill. Lin Moyu picks up a scroll and begins to learn the skill. Immediately, eerie skeletal wings form on his back, and a system notification appears, Wings of the Undead acquired. Wings of the Undead level 1, grants the user and all summoned creatures the ability to fly for 1 second. The higher the skill level, the faster the flying speed, and the shorter the cooldown. Cooldown, 1 hour. Bai Yaowen and Meng Yanwen are completely shocked. They couldn't believe the scroll had given him a flight skill. But Lin Moyu's transformation wasn't over. Meng Yanwen notices and says in surprise, no, it's still not done. Just then, another system notification appears as the flight skill begins to fuse, glowing intensely. Once the fusion is complete, the system flashes another update, skill fusion successful. Lin Moyu gains a brand new ability, Flash Death Wings. Flash Death Wings level 1, you and your summoned creatures can fly for 10 seconds. The higher the level, the faster the flying speed, and the shorter the cooldown. Cooldown, 1 hour. At that moment, the skeletal wings on Lin Moyu's back had grown even more powerful, radiating an overwhelming dark aura that made both Bai Yaowen and Meng Yanwen stare in awe. As soon as Lin Moyu acquired the Flash Death Wing, he started receiving various messages related to the skill. He then immediately deactivated the skeletal wing, and picked up another scroll from the box. He began to learn the skill present in that scroll, and this time he obtained the skeleton bone chains skill. The moment he learned it, massive bones suddenly rose from the ground behind him. Immediately, a system notification appeared. Host has activated skeleton bone chain. Therefore, the system is now optimizing the host's fusion skills. As soon as the fusion notification appeared, Lin Moyu's aging curse chain emerged from his body and started fusing on its own around the bones of the skeleton bone chain skill. Once the aging curse chain completely wrapped itself around those bones, another notification popped up. Aging curse chain is integrating with skeleton bone chain skill. An immediate second notification arrived, stating, skill fusion complete. Host has obtained a new skill named Skeleton Prison. At this moment, massive bone fangs were present behind Lin Moyu, and among them, chains made of bones were also visible, spreading out behind him in a completely unique form with gigantic bones and massive white chains. After obtaining the skill, Lin Moyu immediately deactivated it and picked up another skill scroll from the box. The moment he activated the skill to learn it, a notification instantly appeared. You have gained another new skill. With this skill, you can summon an elemental lich. The moment Lin Moyu became aware of this skill, a powerful dark energy began to surround him, through which a massive elemental lich was summoned right there. As soon as the elemental lich was summoned, a notification appeared. It has been detected that the host has awakened the summon elemental lich skill. Therefore, the system is optimizing fusion skills for the host. Within the same notification, Lin Moyu also received another message stating that this elemental lich was being fused with the undead general skill. Once the fusion was complete, Lin Moyu received the final result. He could now summon the Lich General. After the fusion, the Lich General looked even more terrifying. He appeared like a knight and stood behind Lin Moyu like a giant. After obtaining these skills, Lin Moyu respectfully said to his master, "Teacher, rest assured. I'll go max out these skills and come back." While saying this, he began thinking to himself, with a tenfold boost from my talent, the maxed out skill effect must be incredibly powerful. Hearing Lin Moyu's words, White Divine laughed and said, "Go quickly. We're also looking forward to seeing the effects of your skills." 6 hours later, Lin Moyu returned once again to the courtyard. Seeing him there, White Divine asked, "You came back. So, what were the results of your skill? How was it?" In response, Lin Moyu calmly replied, "My skill results were really impressive." His level was still at 50, and his strength, constitution, and agility were all at 4,805. However, his spirit was a bit higher at 10,311. Without wasting a moment, he immediately activated his new wings. The moment he did, a notification appeared explaining them. Lightning undead wings have reached level 50. You and your summons can now fly for 50 seconds with a cooldown of 10 minutes. Seeing this skill at such a high level, White Divine chuckled and said, "What a powerful flight skill. It even grants your summons the ability to fly for a short time." At this moment, Manhwa was also sitting nearby, silently observing Lin Moyu's skills with great focus. Then, Lin Moyu activated his bone prison. That skill had also reached level 50. It could bind an enemy, preventing them from attacking or counter-attacking and increasing damage received by 30 for a duration of 1 minute. The bound duration varies based on the enemy's level and the number of bound enemies. As soon as Lin Moyu triggered this skill, bones shot out toward White Divine in a controlled attack, circling around him without causing harm. Watching the flawless control of Lin Moyu's skill, White Divine smiled and said, "Such a powerful control skill. With your ability, if you manage to trap an enemy even once, it'll be an instant kill." After that, Lin Moyu went on to activate his third skill as well. He had pushed this one to level 52. His Lich General had reached Platinum level. The stats of the Lich General were visible: strength, constitution, and agility at 16,000, and spirit at 18,000. The General had access to Legion Strengthening or Legion Healing, both up to level 5. Military power had reached level 5, and so had the Lich Aura. The level 5 Lich Aura was able to bless all members of the Undead Legion with elemental auras, with different elements providing different effects. Every single one of Lin Moyu's skills was truly exceptional. Seeing the Lich Aura radiating from the Lich General, Manhwa looked thoughtfully at Lin Moyu and said, "Lin boy, summon your creature and show us how the skill works." As soon as Lin Moyu heard what Manhwa said, he simply nodded and commanded his Lich General to attack. The Lich General raised the staff in his hand, and immediately began forming a fire-type attack. He activated the Fire Hallow, which expanded over a range of nearly 10 meters, continuously damaging enemies within the area. Seeing this power, Manhwa laughed in excitement and said, "What a perverted skill. It directly gives single combat skeleton warriors the ability to perform group attacks." Then, Lin Moyu ordered the Lich General to use another skill. Responding instantly, the Lich General activated the Holy Light Hallow. From his staff, a radiant aura emerged and began to revolve around the skeletons nearby. The Holy Light Hallow increases resistance to damage from light elements and boosts attack power against dark-type monsters. After showing this skill, Lin Moyu became serious and said, "It's not just Fire Hallow and Holy Light Hallow. The Lich General can also release Storm, Ice, Earth, and Lightning Hallows." Witnessing Lin Moyu's power, White Divine also became serious and said, "Very good. Although your skeleton's base form hasn't been strengthened this time, having the Lich General is equivalent to a full enhancement of your undead army." Sitting beside them, Manhwa smiled and added, "Even though you're only level 50, your strength already rivals that of a level 73 third transformation profession. If I hadn't witnessed your growth with my own eyes, I wouldn't believe someone like you even existed." Hearing their words, Lin Moyu bowed respectfully and said, "It's all thanks to both of you seniors. Without your guidance, I would never have achieved what I have today." As soon as he said this, White Divine walked over, patted him on the shoulder, and laughed. "You brat. That only worked because you were strong enough to convert our resources into your own strength. If it had been that good for nothing, Jolene, he'd have died who knows how many times by now." Sipping his tea, Manhwa also smiled and asked, "Lin, what are your plans for the future?" In response, Lin Moyu answered seriously, "I think it's time for me to return to the Eternal Trial." A day later, the story shifts to the Eternal Trial field where Lin Moyu had just teleported. As soon as he arrived, he looked around at the familiar scenery, and memories from the past came flooding back. He thought to himself, "So, I've returned here once again." Right after that, he began considering testing his skeletons and started summoning them one by one. First, Lin Moyu summoned the Platinum level Skeleton Berserker, which was at level 50. Its skill was Violent Blast, a level 2 ability that deals a significant amount of damage, the same skill that once injured the Flame Demon King. Next, he summoned the Platinum Skeleton Archmage, also at level 50. Its skill was Element Explosion, capable of inflicting mixed elemental damage. Then, he summoned the Platinum Skeleton Sharpshooter, whose skill was Soul Lock, an ability that ensures its attacks never miss. After summoning all 3 level 50 skeletons, Lin Moyu got serious and said, "Not bad. Compared to the last time I came here, I've gotten much stronger. Finally, I can wash away my past humiliation." And then, without delay, Lin Moyu activated his wings and decided to head straight toward the core area. Since there was nothing left for him in this zone, he began flying directly toward his destination. As he flew through the sky, he suddenly saw a huge explosion in the middle of the forest. The moment he saw it, his expression turned serious, and he thought, "That is Mu Xianjun's skill." In the middle of the forest, Mu Xianjun stood with her teammates wounded and exhausted behind her. Holding her large weapon, her own body was completely battered. By now, Mu Xianjun's level had reached 60, and her profession was a collection master. Tension was etched on her face, which was smeared with dust and smoke. Her body was covered in injuries, and she was terrified as she looked at the demons standing before her, a level 60 Abyssal Sword Demon and a level 61 Abyssal Blade Demon. Seeing the humans, the 2 demons looked delighted. The Sword Demon smiled broadly at his prey, and the Blade Demon laughed. "Finally, I can wipe out this delicious group of humans," he said. More than half of Mu Xianjun's team was already injured and lying on the ground. Only she remained standing firm. As the Blade Demon finished speaking, both demons rushed forward to attack again, shouting, "Now you're going to die." They charged at Mu Xianjun with full speed, launching an attack from a distance. At that moment, Mu Xianjun's team captain, Yuji, stepped directly in front of her, activating a holy shield defense. The demons' attacks crashed into the shield, but their skills were far too powerful. The defense shattered in moments, and the attacks landed around the captain, injuring her as well. Taking advantage of the opening, Mu Xianjun dashed forward. Using a stun skill, she closed in on the Blade Demon and struck its head with her hammer. The attack left the demon dizzy and disoriented. After landing the blow, Mu Xianjun turned and shouted to her captain, "Yuji, take everyone and go. I'll hold them off alone." Her words made everyone emotional. Tears welled up in their eyes as the captain shouted back, "What foolishness are you saying, Xianjun? If we leave together. Go quickly," Mu Xianjun insisted, trying to convince them. "My skills can still control them for a while. If we drag this out, we'll all die here. Yuji, you must take responsibility for their lives." Tears filled her eyes, and her teammates began to retreat, looking back emotionally as their captain ordered them to leave. Seeing the humans escaping, the 2 demons said angrily, "Don't run, you are about to become our food, so why are you running?" They started to give chase, but Mu Xianjun moved to intercept them, swinging her hammer and unleashing stun attacks. Both demons dodged her assault, and stepped back. The Sword Demon said angrily, "Since you are seeking death, I'll finish you first." Both demons prepared to kill Mu Xianjun. Seeing them, she thought with a faint, emotional smile, "There's no way to dodge this. I might really die here. I wonder how far Yuji and the others have gotten." She was now fully prepared to die, her only concern being the safety of her team. But then, her eyes widened in shock. Standing right before her was a familiar figure, floating in the air with skeletal wings spread wide. It was Lin Moyu. He faced the two demons and, without hesitation, activated his skeletal armor. With a calm and confident voice, he said, "Alright, this time let me try out my new skill." The blade demon laughed mockingly. "A little brat at level 50. So what if you have a flying skill? You'll just make for a better meal for me." Suddenly, chains made of bone burst out from behind Lin Moyu, shooting forward and wrapping tightly around both demons, completely restraining them. Enraged, the sword demon struggled furiously but could not break free. "What is this thing?" he roared. The blade demon also fought desperately but found himself unable to move. At that moment, Lin Moyu summoned his skeletal warrior. The warrior surged forward, raised its massive axe, and closed in on the trapped demons. Terrified, the demons screamed, "What kind of skill is this? Why can't I move?" In a single, powerful swing, the skeletal warrior brought its axe down, slicing both demons cleanly in half. Seeing Lin Moyu standing before her, Mu Shanjun felt an overwhelming rush of relief. A bright smile spread across her face. "Lin Moyu, thank you," she said, laughing softly. "You saved my life again." Lin Moyu smiled back. "If you want to thank me, then do something for me. I'm heading to the core area. Come with me." "Why not?" "I'm ready to go," she answered without hesitation. "This time it might be far more dangerous than before," he warned. "Aren't you afraid?" Mo Xianjun simply smiled again. "I'm not afraid. As long as you're here, I won't die." As they walked together, she asked curiously, "By the way, how did you become so powerful? Those two demons couldn't even fight back against you." Moving deeper toward the core area, Lin Moyu encountered various demons blocking his path, but with his newly acquired skills, he cut them down effortlessly. Mu Shanjun fought at his side, and their teamwork was smooth. Often, Lin Moyu would tell her to make the first move, and he would follow up to finish the enemies. After 5 days of marching without rest, they finally came to a large pit from which a heavy, oppressive wave of dark energy radiated. The moment Nu Shanjun saw the area, memories flashed in her mind. "This is the place where you died last time," she blurted out. "I even put up a tombstone for you here." Hearing that, Lin Moyu made a face, half annoyed and half amused. "Back then, the ancient Luan bird used a black meteorite and nearly wiped out my entire undead army," he recalled. As they were speaking, Mu Shanjun suddenly tensed up. "Wait, don't tell me you're talking about." "Look ahead," she said, her voice tinged with panic. At that moment, the sky began to darken, and a massive shadow appeared from above, the very same ancient Luan bird they were speaking of. The bird, a level 67 level boss, circled in the air, its presence radiating power. Its skills included flame jet and flame explosion, and it was immune to fire damage with fangs that ignored defense. Lin Moyu's expression tightened. The bird had evolved. Wasting no time, he activated his skeletal armor over both himself and Mu Shanjun and summoned his skeletal warrior. The ancient Luan bird struck first, its beak opening wide as a fiery explosion rained down. Lin Moyu immediately activated his skeletal wings, and the summoned warriors behind him also sprouted their own. He launched into the air alongside them, soaring upward while dodging the fiery blasts, pushing higher and higher straight toward the ancient Luan bird. The moment Lin Moyu saw the ancient bird, he set out to attack it. Last time, Lin Moyu didn't have a flying skill, but this time he had one. As soon as he saw the ancient bird, he activated his skeleton wings and began heading toward the sky along with his skeleton warriors. To stop him, fire explosions began raining down from the sky the moment the ancient bird saw him. These fire explosions were extremely powerful, falling like meteors. As they struck Lin Moyu's skeletons, they injured them in mid-air. Many skeletons flying alongside Lin Moyu were wounded by the fire explosions and forced to stop. However, Lin Moyu had already prepared a counter for this. He had positioned the undead Lich General on the ground below. The moment the Lich General saw the injured skeletons, he immediately used Legion treatment to heal them and provide them with double strength. The skeletons that had been lightly injured and were struggling to advance were healed to full power and once again resumed their flight, following closely behind Lin Moyu. Despite this, even more fire explosions were waiting for them. Seeing so many enemies approaching, the ancient bird relentlessly released its fiery attacks. Yet, the skeleton warriors continued to dodge the explosions and press forward. As soon as Lin Moyu got close to the ancient bird, he activated his bone prison skill. Chains made of bone shot out from behind him, rushing straight toward the ancient bird and quickly wrapping around it, forming a prison-like structure that trapped it completely. Seeing the bone prison, the ancient bird grew panicked and let out a loud cry, struggling desperately to break free. But the bone chains had spread all around it, tightening slowly but firmly around its wings, legs, and neck. The ancient bird shrieked even louder, but the grip of Lin Moyu's bone prison was far too strong. At the same time, Lin Moyu's skeletal warriors, all equipped with skeleton wings, completely surrounded the ancient bird. Skeleton mages, archers, and warriors had all gathered, ready to strike. In the next instant, A barrage of arrows rained down on the ancient bird. It screamed in pain as the arrows struck and exploded, raising a cloud of dust. But as the dust cleared, the ancient bird was revealed to be almost completely unharmed. Immediately after, countless bolts of lightning struck the creature, causing it to let out an ear-splitting scream. Using every ounce of its strength, it finally managed to break free from the bone prison. The enraged bird glared at the skeletal warriors and opened its beak, unleashing a strange dark energy. Just then, the Lich General below raised his staff and cast the Lightning Hallow skill. A glowing circle formed around all the skeletons, protecting them from the dark energy. The ancient bird attacked relentlessly before soaring higher, gathering an even greater amount of dark energy. Seeing this, Lin Moyu said with a smile, "Times are different now. This time, in just 1 minute, I have dealt you a serious injury and washed away the humiliation of the past. It's time for you to be reborn, isn't it?" The ancient bird let out another loud cry and soared higher, the force of its ascent breaking the skeleton warriors' formation and sending them scattering. Just then, Mu Xianglan shouted in panic, "Lin Moyu, be careful above." Lin Moyu's expression turned serious as he looked up to see a massive meteor descending from the sky. "It's finally here," he said, quickly flying away. "The skill that almost killed me last time." The huge meteor destroyed the skeleton warriors in its path as it fell. Lin Moyu quickly flew over, caught Mu Xianglan, and began to take her far away. As soon as the meteor struck the earth, it caused a powerful blast, and the resulting shockwave swept Lin Moyu into its grip. He and Mu Xianglan were flung far away, and the force destroyed his skeleton armor and skeleton wings. However, Lin Moyu was not badly injured, as his armor had absorbed all the damage. He stood up and looked toward the impact site, where a massive crater had formed with lightning flashing from within. Lin Moyu went near the crater and, just like last time, found an egg inside, erupting with a massive amount of lightning. A notification appeared, Ancient Luon Bird Lord Level Boss, Level 67, Status, Nirvana Rebirth in Progress. Currently in an invincible state. So it's Nirvana after all, Lin Moyu said in astonishment. But once your Nirvana is over, I will kill you again. After 5 minutes, the eggshell broke, and a powerful dark shadow emerged. The ancient bird flew at full speed toward the sky. Another notification appeared, its level was now 68. Its skills and features were the same, but its power, agility, spirit, and constitution had slightly increased. It has become even stronger after Nirvana, Lin Moyu said in surprise. But so what? He said I will kill you again. He then used the strong soldier ability, surging new force into his skeleton warriors. As he activated his skeleton armor again, he turned to Mu Xianglan and said seriously, "Be ready to use the collection skill. I might tell you at any moment." "Yes, I will be ready," she replied. After this, Lin Moyu activated Bone Prison once more as multiple magical and arrow attacks were launched at the ancient bird. Seizing the opportunity, Mu Xianglan used her collection art. Seeing everything going in his favor, Lin Moyu smiled. However, his smile vanished as he looked up seriously. Another massive, meteor-like object was once again heading toward them. The moment Lin Moyu saw it, he quickly grabbed Mu Xianglan and started to flee. From the sky, another massive meteor began to fall. Seeing this, Lin Moyu became extremely terrified. He quickly picked Mu Xianglan up once again and started running, trying to escape the area. As the meteor continued to accelerate toward the ground at full speed, our MC began receiving continuous notifications about his skeletons being killed. First came the notification that 42 skeleton berserkers had been eliminated, followed by 25 skeleton mages and then 19 skeleton archers. The messages kept coming without stopping. The meteor's pressure was so overwhelmingly powerful that even though Lin Moyu was far from it, he was still struggling to withstand it. The moment the meteor hit the ground, the force it unleashed instantly shattered Lin Moyu's skeleton armor into pieces. Seeing this, Lin Moyu was utterly shocked. Why had Nirvana appeared again? Could it be that this creature had achieved Nirvana more than once? The last time he fought the ancient bird, he had only seen this Nirvana skill once, so he simply couldn't believe it was happening again. At that very moment, right in the middle of the crater where the meteor had fallen, another egg had appeared. Its full stats were clearly visible. Ancient Luon Bird, Lore Level Boss, Level 68. Status, undergoing second complete rebirth, currently in an invincible state. The egg was releasing bright blue flames all around it, and arcs of electricity crackled in the air. It was so unbelievable that our MC couldn't accept it. In shock and panic, he said, "There's actually something like this. Could it be that it will have a third or even a fourth Nirvana?" Saying this, he readied himself once more and immediately summoned his skeleton warriors again. "Since that's the case, then I'll just kill you again." The moment Lin Moyu's skeleton warriors were summoned, they surrounded the entire area. However, at that very moment, the color of the sky began to change, and strange disturbances appeared above. Right over the place where our MC and the ancient bird's egg were, a hole suddenly opened in the middle of the sky, and from it, a tornado-like storm began to form. From within that hole, 3 to 4 massive whirlwinds wrapped in powerful flames came spinning out, right in front of our MC. Seeing this, our MC immediately became cautious. Fierce flames surged out from inside those whirlwinds, releasing terrifying pressure all around. Then, right at that moment, a gigantic hand slowly stretched out from the hole in the sky. The moment Lin Moyu saw that enormous hand, fear filled his heart, and he muttered nervously, "What is this thing?" Standing beside him, Mu Xianjun was completely terrified as well. Her eyes were wide open in shock, sweat dripped down her forehead, and she looked utterly shaken with fear. Though scared, our MC still activated Bone Prison, trying desperately to stop the giant hand from descending and attempting to capture it. The bone chains shot out, wrapping around the hand. The hand was so massive, so terrifying, it seemed to cover the entire region. Its nails alone were frighteningly huge. As the bone prison bound it, Lin Moyu shouted in anger, "You want to steal my loot? I will never allow that to happen." At the same time, the skeleton warriors charged forward to attack the giant hand. However, when the enormous hand saw the bone chains and skeleton warriors, it simply snapped its fingers. With just that one snap, everything was destroyed in an instant. The bone prison and the skeleton warriors were all crushed in one blow. The air pressure from that single snap was so terrifying that even the skeleton warriors charging up from below were obliterated. Seeing this, Lin Moyu was completely horrified. His eyes widened in shock, and his mind was thrown into confusion. Could it be that this person has intervened? The moment he thought this, he quickly raised his hand and calmly declared a truce. That giant hand, meanwhile, moved straight toward the crater, grabbed the ancient bird's egg, and carried it back through the sky, vanishing into the same place it had come from. As soon as the giant hand disappeared, Mu Xianjun, having witnessed everything, turned to Lin Moyu and asked, trembling in fear, "What was that just now? Such a terrifying thing." Lin Moyu answered, "Do you still remember the ancient earth dragon boss we once fought? That was its true body." While the two of them were still speaking, a powerful pressure suddenly fell over them. Mu Xianjun's heart began pounding in panic. Her eyes filled with fear, and she couldn't utter a single word. The moment Lin Moyu felt that overwhelming pressure, he immediately pulled out his sai. But before he could do anything, the giant hand once again rushed out from the hole in the sky at full speed. Seeing this, Lin Moyu was terrified. In the next instant, the enormous hand grabbed both him and Mu Xianjun, lifting them straight into the sky, and in the blink of an eye, they disappeared. After being dragged into the hole in the sky by the giant hand, Lin Moyu slowly opened his eyes and found himself in a completely different place. He instantly recognized it as the very center of the core area. As he opened his eyes and looked around, the first thing he saw left him stunned. Standing before him was a dragon. The moment the dragon saw our MC, it spoke in a deep, thunderous voice, "You finally arrived. I've been waiting for you for so long." Hearing this, Lin Moyu quickly stood up and replied, "Senior, my leveling speed has already been very fast. I couldn't do more than this." But just as he was speaking, the ancient bird suddenly let out a furious cry, its screeches echoing with rage. Hearing that piercing roar, Lin Moyu's gaze shifted toward it in surprise. Startled, he turned back to the dragon and asked, "So, is this your pet?" The dragon's eyes flashed with annoyance. With a single slash of its massive claw, it struck the bird, silencing it instantly. The ancient bird lost consciousness with just that one blow. While striking it down, the dragon roared, "Xiaovai, shut up." As the ancient bird went quiet, Mu Xianjun was still lying unconscious nearby. The dragon then turned its sharp eyes back toward Lin Moyu and said, "Take it out. I can sense that you're carrying something I need." Hearing this, Lin Moyu immediately retrieved the box and explained, "This was entrusted to me by the righteous god to bring to you." The moment those words left his mouth, the dragon burst into a thunderous low, shouting, "I never thought that little human brat would actually become a so-called righteous god in your mouth." Opening its massive jaws wide, it laughed again, and the box in our MC's hands began to float, slowly drifting toward the dragon's maw. As it swallowed the box, the dragon spoke in a resonant voice, "Don't worry, I will naturally keep my promise. Now you have earned the right to know my name, little one." The instant those words were spoken, a notification appeared before our MC's eyes, displaying the dragon's stats, Earth Dragon Antar, Big World Boss, level 100. That was all that was visible. Strength, Constitution, Agility, Spirit, Skills, Attributes, everything else remained completely hidden from view. Reading those stats, our MC's heart skipped a beat, and he thought in shock, a Big World level boss, and its level is actually 100. This is the first time I've ever seen such an existence. The dragon looked at him and chuckled. "Little one, are you that surprised? You should feel honored. Not many are qualified to know my name. Now then, little one, it's time we discuss a trade. Trust me, you will not regret." Hearing the word trade, our MC frowned slightly and asked, "What kind of deal is this? Tell me first." The dragon slowly raised one of its massive claws and lightly brushed its talon against the air. Instantly sparks of lightning crackled, and before Lin Moyu's eyes, a massive crystal took form, glowing with power. The dragon's voice rumbled, in the place known as Thunder Canyon, there lies a subspace called the Lower Burial Grounds, within the ancient trial field. When you reach Thunder Canyon, find this crystal. After saying this, the dragon released a drop of its own blood and handed it to Lin Moyu. Its voice echoed solemnly, drip this onto the crystal. Then bring back what lies within. Lin Moyu took the blood, but suspicion flickered in his eyes. He asked, you're so powerful. Why don't you just go there yourself? Why send me? The dragon's gaze sharpened, and it replied firmly, I naturally have my reasons for not going, but rest assured, my trade will never let you suffer a loss. Lin Moyu clenched his fists, and then nodded. All right, I promise you. However, with my current level, I still can't reach the lower space for now. The dragon let out a calm laugh. There's no rush. In that case, let's talk about the benefits I'm going to give you. Lin Moyu agrees to the dragon's deal, which makes the dragon extremely happy. Every word spoken by the dragon was enough to shake and rumble the entire area. And as he spoke, the whole place trembled. Out of joy, he says to Lin Moyu that he would give him a set of legendary equipment. How about I give this to you? Hearing this, Lin Moyu does not look happy. Instead, he shakes his head and says, no, I don't want this. Relying too much on external equipment is not good for my cultivation. And as for equipment, I can find it myself. The dragon is a little surprised when he hears this from Lin Moyu. And in shock, he asks, did I hear that right? You said you don't want it. This is a whole set of legendary equipment, and there aren't many complete sets even among your human race. But Lin Moyu directly says, I don't want it, and then begins to think to himself, I already have the powerful Scythe of Venetas and the Staff of Creation. Even within my body, I possess the even more mysterious Shenshu Cauldron, so I have no need for any legendary equipment. The moment the dragon hears these words, he slams his claws onto the ground and roars, you don't want equipment. Let me think about what else I can give you. And after this, he raises his claw and says to Lin Moyu that he would give him another gift. You are now at level 50. I can give you the heart, protecting flesh of the bloodthirsty Python. It will increase your attributes greatly, far beyond others of your level. However, upon hearing this proposal, Lin Moyu simply waves his hand with a smile and says, I already ate that during my second job transfer. My teacher got it for me. Then the dragon comes closer to Lin Moyu, sniffs him, and says, there really is the scent of the bloodthirsty Python. Looks like your teacher is quite powerful. But since Lin Moyu did not accept even a single one of his proposals, the dragon begins to think about what else he could give. He mutters to himself, this won't work. That won't work. Let me think again about what I can give you. Thinking and thinking, his head starts to spin. He becomes confused, and now he doesn't know what gift to offer that Lin Moyu would accept. One by one, he begins showing different treasures in front of Lin Moyu. What about the elemental godstone? It can increase the probability of profession sublimation during the third job transfer. Or the talent godstone. But after seeing each piece of equipment, Lin Moyu replies, I already have this. This one too I already possess. No matter what the dragon showed, some items were outright refused by Lin Moyu while others he already had in his possession. Finally, the dragon sits down exhausted from thinking and then with disappointment says to Lin Moyu, why don't you just tell me yourself what you are lacking or what you want? Seeing him like this, Lin Moyu says that he wishes to ask him some questions. I have a few doubts that have puzzled me for a long time. I would like to ask Senior to clear them for me. Hearing this, the dragon calmly replies, that's a small matter. Go ahead. What do you wish to ask? The dragon was now ready to answer Lin Moyu's questions. Since Lin Moyu had agreed to this, he became very serious, and asked the dragon, I once went to the zombie world where there is a terrifying corpse poison. Can this poison be neutralized? The moment the dragon heard the word zombie world from Lin Moyu's mouth, his eyes widened in shock. With disbelief, he asked, you actually know about the zombie world, and you even went there. And you managed to come back alive. Once again, he brought his nose close to Lin Moyu, sniffing his body. With a strange expression, he muttered, that's right. There really is the scent of corpse poison on you. And you've also been to the life secret realm. Truly unexpected. The scepter of creation has actually fallen into your hands as well. No wonder you don't need any legendary equipment. After that, Lin Moyu summoned the scepter of creation and said, I know I can't hide this from a senior like you for long. The moment the scepter appeared, it floated in the air. Seeing this weapon in Lin Moyu's hand, the dragon suddenly burst out into loud laughter, roaring, hilarious. Those useless fools fought and killed each other over the so-called position of the god of lie. And in the end, they all died in the zombie world. Serves them right. Then his tone turned serious as he said, this question I can answer for you. The corpse poison has no cure. Once poisoned, even a god-level powerhouse will die. The stronger the poisoned person is, the stronger the poison becomes. This is a forbidden ability capable of exterminating all beings below the super god level. Hearing this, Lin Moyu's expression grew tense. His mind spun with heavy thoughts. So, the corpse poison really has no cure. Could it be that my Lick army is truly the only existence in this world that can eliminate it? The dragon then told him, ask your next question. Don't waste too much time. Lin Moyu nodded and asked his second question. Senior, can dead god level powerhouses be resurrected? The dragon replied, before reaching the god level, as long as a soul imprint is planted, the soul will automatically return after death, thereby resurrecting the person. But after reaching the god level, the soul imprint becomes useless. Reviving then becomes extremely troublesome, but not impossible. However, in this entire world, only I myself possess the ability to resurrect god-level beings. For example, that level 98 half-step super god expert of your human race, Jun Yai. Hearing this answer, Lin Moyu was more shocked than ever. A thin layer of sweat appeared on his forehead as he fell deep into thought. So the deal between the god Yai and Senior. Was it resurrection? After a moment, he asked his third question. Senior, the wild beasts in the desolate void, can they be killed? To this, the dragon responded with surprise. Kid, you even know about the desolate void. Just how many secret realms have you been to? Lin Moyu immediately answered, during my second job transfer, I was there. I even encountered the king of wild beasts. The dragon looked at him with deep meaning and said, your teacher sure has guts, and it seems his strength isn't weak either to have actually kept you alive in the hands of the beast king. Then he explained, of course, wild beasts can be killed as long as your power's purity is high enough. Every word of the dragon added to Lin Moyu's unease, and this one too made his chest tighten. Once again, he fell into heavy contemplation. Purity. Even teacher Baishan, who has already reached level 95, doesn't have enough purity. Just what kind of purity is enough? Super god level. After hearing everything, Lin Moyu directly asks the dragon, Senior, how can I become a super god? Hearing these words from Lin Moyu, the dragon is a little astonished. With confusion, he looks at him and asks, Super god. You're only level 50 and you're already thinking about such things. Think carefully. If I answer this question, I won't answer any others for you. The moment Lin Moyu hears this, he feels a little tense, but with deep respect, he replies, just this one question. Senior, please resolve this doubt for me so that I may have a goal I can strive to reach. Listening to the careful way Lin Moyu had spoken, the dragon's expression turns serious. His tone grows solemn as he says, since you insist so much, then I will tell you. After reaching level 99, there are 3 paths to becoming a super god. He then begins to explain each method. The first, the simplest, use top-tier materials to arrange a super god formation, and you can achieve the breakthrough. The second, very similar to the first, by relying on mythical items, one can also become a super god. For example, the staff of creation in your hand. The third, and by far the most difficult, comprehend everything that must be comprehended to its very limits, and at the same time raise one attribute beyond 10 million. Only then can you become a super god. Hearing these 3 methods, Lin Moyu grows nervous, his heart heavy. Quickly he asks, Senior, is there any difference between these 3 types of super gods? The dragon bursts into laughter at this, his voice booming. I already told you this was the last question I would answer. As he speaks, fire bursts from his mouth and his words resound in an intimidating, thunderous voice. Lin Moyu, listening to this, bows respectfully and says with humility, Senior, you have lived countless long years, wise in all things past and present. Surely you wouldn't hold grudges against a junior like me, would you? Seeing his humble and sincere attitude, the dragon softens slightly. With a faint smile, he replies, since you are so earnest, this king will reluctantly tell you. Among the 3 paths, the one who breaks through using their own attribute is the strongest. The one who fuses with a divine treasure is second, and the one who uses formations is the weakest. After receiving these answers, Lin Moyu feels a wave of disappointment. His face shows clear frustration as his teacher's words echo in his mind. As expected, teacher was right. Depending on external objects will never make you the strongest. One must rely on their own attributes to break through. Then the dragon suddenly rises to his feet and roars loudly. All right, I've paid my fee. Now it's your turn to fulfill your promise. As he stood, the entire area shook violently, dust rising and swirling everywhere. Seeing him about to leave, Lin Moyu quickly calls out, Senior, wait 1 minute. I have one more request. The moment the dragon hears those words, his eyes flash with anger. His gaze sharpens like burning flames as he glares at Lin Moyu, growling furiously. What did you say? You still have one more request. Lin Moyu directly responds without hesitation. Senior, I am going to such a dangerous place to retrieve something for you. The value of a few questions hardly matches the value of my small life. Don't you think? Hearing this, the dragon narrows his eyes, his expression filled with a restrained fury. In a low, threatening voice, he says, Boy, those who are too greedy often die an untimely death. The dragon was, in a way, explaining to Lin Moyu that too much greed is a useless thing. However, Lin Moyu in a humble and respectful manner said, "In my eyes, this so-called equivalent exchange is not fair at all. And if you really wanted to kill me, it would only take you a single breath." Hearing this, the dragon replied in a calm but firm tone, "Then go ahead, speak. I am listening. What do you want to ask?" Lin Moyu then began to state his request. "Senior, I hope that after I bring back the item from the Thunder Burial Canyon, I can obtain some materials that I can actually use. These materials should be of little value to you." The moment the dragon heard this request, he suddenly burst out into loud laughter, his booming voice shaking the surroundings. "Just this. Aha. If you can truly bring back the thing I require, then not only will I give you the materials, I will also grant you one more precious item." As soon as Lin Moyu finished listening to the dragon's words, he smiled softly and replied, "All right then, senior. Our deal is sealed." Immediately, the dragon rose to his full height, his voice roaring like thunder as he shouted, "Then I shall send you away right now." In that instant, a powerful beam of lightning descended directly upon Lin Moyu. Struck by its overwhelming power, he began to lose consciousness. His body, engulfed in blinding light, was slowly being teleported away together with Mu Xian, who lay unconscious at his side. But as the strange light wrapped around him, Lin Moyu frowned and muttered in confusion, "Something is wrong here." At that very moment, the dragon's furious voice thundered in rage. "You brat, you dared to take an inch after being given a foot. Do you really think this king is so easy to fool?" And then, suddenly, the scene shifted. Lin Moyu was no longer there. He had been thrown into an entirely different place, an ancient trial ground that existed in the lower space. The moment his feet touched the ground, Lin Moyu looked around with shock in his eyes and whispered to himself, This is the lower space." Beside him, Mu Xiang still lay unconscious. Throughout this entire encounter, she had never once awakened. Seeing himself teleported into the lower dimension, Lin Moyu becomes a little serious and starts examining his surroundings. Looking at the lower dimension, thoughts begin to rise in his mind. I never expected that I would be directly teleported into the lower dimension. Just then, through telepathy, he hears the dragon's voice saying, "Brat, you dare to deceive me. In thousands of years, you are the first one." The dragon then tells him this is the lower space. "Since you are already here, then fulfill your promise." Hearing that voice, Lin Moyu becomes a little tense, and sweat begins to drip from his forehead because the dragon had realized that he was trying to deceive him. At that moment, the dragon scale in Lin Moyu's possession begins to shine on its own and appears before him. Then a voice comes from it. "The scale can take you out of the lower space, but it can only take one person at a time." Looking at the scale, Lin Moyu then turns his gaze toward Mu Xianjin, who is still lying unconscious, and begins to think, "It can only take one person away. This means if I teleport out, Mu Xianjin will be left behind. This one truly holds a grudge. It seems I must obtain the thing he desires. Only then will he send me back." After this, he summons a teleportation stone to test it. As soon as the stone is summoned, it starts glowing. Seeing this, Lin Moyu smiles and thinks, however, even though the teleportation stones have lost their function, the Abyss teleportation stone can still be used. In a moment of crisis, I can teleport to the Abyss world and escape this lower space. Just then, Mu Xianjin, who had been unconscious, slowly regains consciousness. She opens her eyes weakly and says, "That was strange. How did I fall asleep?" Then looking around her surroundings in confusion, she asks in shock, "What place is this?" Standing behind her, Lin Moyu explains, "This is the lower dimension of the eternal trial field." Hearing those words, Mu Xianjin turns around in astonishment and exclaims in disbelief, "The lower space. But doesn't it require level 70 just to enter here?" She couldn't believe she was in such a dangerous place. Then Lin Moyu tosses the dragon scale toward her and says, "Don't worry about the reason. The fact is we are already in the lower space. There could be dangers here. Take this dragon scale, it can send you away." Holding the scale in her hand, Mu Xianjin looks at it and, in a reluctant tone, asks, "Then what about you? If you've given me the dragon scale, what will you do?" Lin Moyu laughs lightly and replies, "Of course, I have one as well. If there's danger, I'll run at the first opportunity. I may not be able to look after you. Understand." Clutching the dragon's scale tightly in her hands, Mu Xianjin nods firmly and says, "I understand. If there's danger, I'll escape at once and definitely not cause you any trouble." Then Lin Moyu says, "It's time to move forward." Both of them leap onto the leaves and continue advancing through the area. They move forward continuously, encountering monsters along the way. At one
Holding the
point,
scale in her
Lin Moyu
hand,
collides with a tree-like
Xian
monster
looks
and
at
uses
it,
his skeleton
and in a
fangs to
tone
finish
that
it.
shows her
As soon as the
reluctance to
skeleton
accept,
fangs strike,
she asks,
they sink in,
"Then
but
what
they
about
can't
you?
make even the
If
slightest
you've
hole in
given
its
me the
body.
dragon scale,
Seeing this,
what will
Lin
you
Moyu
do?"
says in shock,
Our
so sturdy.
MC laughs
The skeleton
lightly
fangs
and
couldn't even
replies,
pierce through these
"Of
vines.
course, I have
Then
one
suddenly,
as well.
all the massive
If
vines
there's
spread
danger,
across the
I'll
entire
run at the
area
very
begin to
first
attack Mu
moment.
Xianjun
I
and
may
Lin
not
Moyu
be
at the
able to
same
look
time.
after you.
Seeing them
Understand?"
attack together, Lin Moyu
Clutching the
quickly
dragon
activates
scale
skeleton
tightly
armor
in
on
her
himself and Mu
hands,
Xianjun and, using
nods
skeleton
firmly
wings,
and says,
flies out of the
"I
area with her.
understand.
The entire
If
place
there's
was now
danger,
covered with these
I'll
massive
escape
leaf
at once
vines.
and
Seeing
definitely
this,
not
Mu
cause you
Xianjun
any
becomes
trouble."
extremely frightened
Then
and
our
says,
MC
"How can this
says it's
entire
time
area
to
be
move
covered with
forward.
vines like this?"
Both of them
Then,
leap
right in
onto
front
the
of Lin
leaves
Moyu,
and
the
continue
stats of the monsters
advancing
are
through this
displayed.
area.
Giant leaf vine monster
Both
level,
of them were
72
continuously
strength,
moving
250,000
forward, and in
constitution,
between, they were
100,000
encountering
agility,
monsters.
80,000 spirit,
In this moment,
250,000
our MC
skills,
collides
vine
with a
slash,
monster,
entanglement,
and to finish
giant
it,
leaf slash
our MC
attribute,
uses
reduces
his
physical
skeleton
damage by
fangs.
30. Lin Moyu
These
rushes through the
monsters
area
look
at
like
full speed,
trees.
thinking to
As soon
himself,
as the
as
skeleton
expected of a
fangs
lower
strike,
dimension.
they start
Even the
sinking
attributes
into
of
them,
ordinary
but
monsters
they
here are
couldn't make
comparable
even
to
the
bosses from
slightest
the upper
hole in their
dimension.
bodies.
It seems just like
Seeing
level
this,
70 is a
our
turning
MC
point for
says
humans
in
to
shock,
undergo a second
"So
awakening.
sturdy,
This level is
the
a dividing
skeleton
line for all
fangs couldn't
creatures
even
as well."
pierce through these
After
vines,
moving some distance
and
ahead,
then,
he and
suddenly,
Mu Xianjun
all
land
those
on a giant
massive
leaf.
veins that
The
were
trees
spread
here were so
across the
enormous that
entire
Lin Moyu
area
and
begin
Mu
to
Xianjun
attack
looked
Mu
like mere ants in
Xianxian
comparison.
and our MC
Seeing
at
so
the
many
same
monsters
time.
around him, Lin Moyu
Seeing them
smirks and
attack
says with
together,
confidence,
our
"Perhaps
MC
for any other
quickly
professional,
activates
this
skeleton
place would be a
armor
dead
on
end.
himself
But
and
for
Mu
me,
Xianxian,
this is a land
and
of
using
fortune."
skeleton
Immediately,
wings,
he summons
flies
his
out of
entire
that
skeleton
area
army.
with her.
Skeleton
At
archers,
this moment,
lich
the
generals,
entire
and
place
skeleton
was
mages
covered
all
with
appear,
these joint
ready for
leaf
battle.
veins.
As soon as they are
Seeing
summoned,
this, Mu
Lin Moyu
Xianxian
commands them to
becomes
attack,
extremely
and they
frightened
instantly
and
charge
says,
forward.
"How
The
can
archers
this
rain down
entire
arrows,
area be covered
piercing
with
and destroying the
vines like
giant
this?"
vines.
Then,
The mages
right in
unleash their
front of our
magical
MC,
attacks, blowing
the
some of them
stats
apart,
of these
and the
giant
skeleton
leaf
warriors,
vine monsters
wielding
are
massive axes and
displayed.
swords, cut down the
Giant
thick
leaf
vines as if they were nothing
monster,
more than
level
radishes and
72.
carrots. Each one was engaged in their role,
250,000.
fighting fiercely and tearing the area apart.
100,000.
Explosions erupted
Agility,
everywhere.
80,000.
The entire battlefield turned
Spirit,
into a scene of chaos and death.
250,000.
In the middle of it
Their
all,
skills
Lin Moyu
include
stood
vine
calmly with Mu
slash,
Xianjun,
entanglement,
silently
and
observing the
giant
war.
leaf slash.
But suddenly,
And
massive
their
vines that
attribute
had been lying hidden
reduces
sprang out
physical
and surrounded
damage
Lin
by
Moyu from all
30%.
sides. In an
Our
instant,
MC
they began to
rushes
charge
through
up
this
and
area
unleash
at
an energy
full
type
speed,
attack.
thinking
The moment he saw
seriously
this,
to himself,
Lin Moyu quickly
as
grabbed Mu
expected of the
Xianjun and
lower
flew
dimension.
upward, trying to
Even
escape.
the attributes
However,
of
the
ordinary
colossal vines
monsters
began
here
launching
are
what looked like
already
solar type
comparable
attacks
to
right at
bosses
him.
of the upper
When the
dimension.
attack struck,
It
cracks
seems,
and light
just
damage
like
began
level
appearing on his
70
skeleton
is a
armor.
turning point for
Seeing
humans
this,
to
Lin
undergo
Moyu's
second
expression grew
awakening.
serious as he
This
thought,
level is
as
a
expected
dividing
of level
line
72
for all
monsters.
creatures as well.
Their attack power is
After
truly
moving
on
some
another level.
distance ahead,
My
he
skeleton
lands
armor
on a
can
giant
withstand at
leaf
most 2
along
more hits
with
from their
Mu
leaf blade
Xianxian.
attacks before it
The
shatters.
trees here were
Now,
enormous,
the entire
so
area was
massive
swarming
that in
with
front
these
of them,
plants,
both
their mouths
our
glowing as they
MC
prepared to
and Mu
unleash
Xianxian
solar-type
looked
laser
like
beam
mere
attacks.
ants.
Looking at this,
Seeing so
Lin
many
Moyu
monsters
tensed up and
around
muttered
him,
gravely under
our
his
MC
breath,
smirks
"This won't work
and
if it
says
continues
with
like this."
confidence, "Perhaps
Aura of
for any
elements,
other
activate.
professional, this
Meanwhile,
place
the
would
Lich
be
General
nothing
raised
short
his
of a
staff
dead
high,
end.
channeling
But for
energy
me,
and providing
this
buffs
is
to
a
all the
land of
skeleton
fortune."
warriors.
And
Fire
immediately,
Hallow, Lightning
he summons
Hallow,
his
Frozen
entire
Hallow.
skeleton army.
One by one, all
Whether
of these
it was
buffs were
skeleton
activated,
archers,
enveloping the
lich
entire
generals,
skeleton
or
army.
skeleton
The moment the
mages,
buffs
they
were
all
activated,
appear
the
ready for
skeletons
battle.
rushed toward the massive monsters.
As soon as they are
As soon as they
summoned,
got
our
close,
MC
explosions
commands
began
them
to erupt
attack,
violently.
and instantly
One after another,
they charge
massive
forward.
blasts shook the battlefield.
The archers
During
rained
these
down
explosions,
arrows,
notifications
piercing and
continued to
destroying the
appear for
giant
Lin Moyu.
vines.
You have slain
The
a level
mages
72
unleashed their
giant leaf
magical
vine.
attacks,
You gain
blowing
experience
some of them
points.
apart.
Again and
And
again,
the skeleton
the messages
warriors,
poured in as
wielding
countless level
massive
72
axes and
monsters fell.
swords, cut
At this
down
moment,
the thick
the entire
vines
area
like
was
they were
filled with
nothing
dust from
more
the
than
blast,
radishes
and
and
Lin Moyu
carrots.
stood in one spot,
Everyone
watching
was
carefully to make
engaged in
sure
their
there wasn't
role,
any other
fighting
danger lurking lurking
fiercely,
around.
soaring
Right
through the
beside
air
him,
and
Mu
tearing
Xianjun
the
looked at him
entire
and thought in
area
awe,
apart.
how can he be this powerful?
Explosions erupted
Even in the lower
everywhere.
space,
The whole
just being near him
battlefield
gives me
turned
such
into
an
a scene
overwhelming
of
sense of
chaos and
safety.
death.
Then all of a sudden,
In the middle
a
of it
powerful
all,
vine attack
our
struck
MC
directly at
stood
Lin Moyu's
calmly
stomach,
with Mu
shattering his
Xianxian,
skeleton armor and
silently
dealing him
observing
critical
the war.
damage. The impact
But
was so
suddenly
strong that with
massive
just one
vines,
hit,
which
his
had
body
been
was sent
lying
flying
hidden
backward
for a
at full
long
speed.
time,
Mu
sprang
Xianjun's
out
eyes
and
widened in
surrounded our
shock as she
MC
watched this
from all
terrifying
sides.
scene unfold.
In an
She stood
instant,
frozen,
they began
staring as Lin
charging
Moyu
up
was
to
thrown back with
unleash an
terrifying
energy
force.
type attack.
Meanwhile, enduring
The
the pain
moment
from the
he
vine
saw
attack,
this, our
Lin Moyu looked
MC
stunned and
quickly
exclaimed,
grabbed Mu
"What is this?
Xianxian and
My
flew
skeleton
upward
armor
with
couldn't
speed,
even withstand
trying
a
to
single
escape.
blow." As he
However,
looked straight
those
ahead, he
colossal
saw a
joint
massive,
vines
giant,
began
like tree
launching
monster
what
towering
looked like
before him,
solar-type
far larger
attacks
and more
right at him.
terrifying than any monster he
When
had
the
ever
attack
faced.
struck,
Lin Moyu was
our
struck by a
MC was
devastating
struck
attack,
by a
and in
devastating
that
attack.
instant, his
And in
skeleton
that
armor
instant,
shattered into
his
countless
skeleton
fragments.
armor
The
shattered
impact
into
shook his
countless
body,
fragments.
and as he slowly raised
The
his head,
impact
he
shook his
saw
body,
it, an enormous
and
tree
as he
towering into the
slowly
sky
raised
like a
his
living
head,
mountain.
he saw
This was the
an
giant
enormous
leaf mother
tree,
tree, a world-class
towering into the
boss.
sky like
Its
a
level
living
was
mountain.
86. Its
This
strength
was
had
the
reached an
giant
overwhelming
leaf mother
1,500,000.
tree, a world-class
Its agility was an
Its level
astonishing
was
1 million.
86.
Its spirit stood
Its
firmly at
strength
1
had
million.
reached an
Its constitution was a staggering 2,600,000.
Its
It
agility
possessed
was an
terrifying
astonishing
skills.
1
Certain
million.
death entwine and
Its
giant
spirit
leaf sever.
stood firmly
Even
at
more
1
frightening
million.
were its traits.
And its
It could ignore 70
constitution
of all
was a
physical
staggering
damage and reduce elemental damage by
2,600,000.
50. After
It
attacking,
possessed
the
terrifying
giant tree began
skills,
moving
certain
closer
death
to Lin Moy.
entwine and
As
giant
it
leaf
advanced,
sever.
he could feel
And
its
even
powerful
more
energy.
frightening were its
Seeing the
traits.
giant leaf
It
mother
could
tree,
ignore
Lin Moy
70%
became
of
extremely
all
nervous.
physical damage
The broken
and
pieces of his
reduced
skeleton
elemental
armor were still
damage by
scattered around him,
50%.
and he looked at the giant
After
tree in fear.
attacking, that
However,
giant tree
he did
was
not
moving
panic.
closer
He
to our
immediately
MC.
reactivated the skeleton
As it
armor.
advanced,
The
our
moment he
MC
activated
could
the
feel its
skeleton
powerful
wings,
energy.
he rushed straight toward Mu
Seeing the
Xianjin,
giant
caught
leaf
her,
mother
and
tree,
started fleeing the
our
area at
MC
full
became
speed.
extremely
By this time,
nervous.
the giant tree had
The
already
broken
launched an
pieces
attack
of
on
his
Lin Moy.
skeleton armor
These
were
were
still
giant leaf,
scattered
cutting
around
attacks,
him,
sharp
and he
enough to
looked at the
slice
giant
anyone right
tree
through the
in
middle,
fear.
and they were surging toward him at
However,
incredible
he
speed.
did not panic.
The skeleton
He
warriors still
immediately
present were struck by
reactivated
these
the
attacks,
skeleton armor.
and in less than a minute,
The moment
all
he
of them were
activated
shattered
the
into
skeleton
pieces.
wings,
The giant
he
tree
rushed
continuously
straight
tore
toward
apart Lin Moy's
Mu
skeleton
caught her,
warriors.
and
Some were
started
crushed by
fleeing
its
from
vines.
that area at
Others were
full
cut
speed.
down by its deadly leaf
Because
attacks.
by this time,
As Lin
the
Moy
giant
fled,
tree had
he looked back
already
and was
launched
filled
an
with dread,
attack on
for
our
many of his
MC.
skeletons had already been
These were
annihilated,
giant leaf
and the tree's
cutting
vines were drawing
attacks,
dangerously
sharp
close.
enough to slice
In
anyone
desperation,
right through the
he
middle.
activated Bone Prison,
They were surging
attempting
toward
to
our
capture the
MC
vines.
at
The
incredible
Bone Prison
speed.
swiftly caught many of the
At
vines,
this moment,
stopping
the
them from
skeleton
reaching
warriors,
him. But
who
in
were
just
still
1
present,
second, the
were
Bone
struck
Prison
by
shattered.
those giant
Seeing
leaf
this,
cutting
Lin
attacks,
Moy was
and
terrified.
in less than a minute,
How could this be
all
possible?
of them were
The
destroyed,
Bone Prison couldn't
shattered
even last
into
a second.
pieces.
Fear was
The
written all
giant
over his
tree
face,
continuously
and Mu
tore
Xianjin,
apart our
still in his
MC's
arms,
skeleton
became deeply
warriors.
terrified
Some
herself.
were crushed by
With
its
tension and
vines.
fear in his voice,
Others were cut
Lin Moy
down
said
by its
seriously to
deadly
her,
leaf
"Use the
attacks.
dragon scale to leave here
As
right
our
now.
MC fled,
Otherwise we
he
might
looked
both
back
die."
and was
Hearing
filled
his
with
words,
dread,
Mu
for many
Xianjin
of
did
his
not object.
skeletons had
She
already
quickly
been
pulled out the
annihilated,
dragon scale
and
and
the vines
activated
of
it
the
without
giant tree
hesitation.
were drawing
In an
dangerously
instant, she
close to
vanished.
him.
The moment Mu
In
Xianjin
desperation,
disappeared,
he
Lin Moy
immediately
once again
activated
sprinted
the bone
forward at full
prison,
speed.
trying to
Running
capture the
desperately,
vines of
he
the
muttered
tree.
to himself,
The
"I
bone
really don't
prison
know why the
swiftly
ancient
caught
earth
many
dragon
of the
sent me
vines,
here.
stopping
Is it because
them
I
from
haven't
reaching
died
our
fast
MC.
enough? If I get killed
But in
here,
just 1
what
second,
good would that do
the
them?"
bone prison
He kept
shattered
glancing
into
back,
pieces.
and when he saw that the
Seeing
mother
this,
tree was no
our
longer
MC
chasing
was
him,
terrified.
he let out a heavy sigh of
How
relief.
could this be possible?
"Thank goodness I have a
The
flying
bone
skill,"
prison
he
couldn't
said.
even last 1
Otherwise,
second.
there would have been no
Fear
way to
was
escape
written
the giant
all
leaf
over
mother
his
tree's
face,
attack range.
and Mu Xianjin,
Frightened, he
still
kept
in
fleeing
his
at full
arms,
speed.
looked at his
After a
frightened
while,
expression
he managed to get
and
quite
became
far.
deeply
But then,
terrified herself.
noticing something ahead,
Then,
his heart
with
sank in
tension
terror.
and fear
From
in
within
his
the
voice,
bushes, he
our
saw a
MC
massive,
said
enormous
seriously to
snake-like
her,
monster.
"Use
The
the
moment his
dragon
eyes fell
scale
on
to
it,
leave
fear
here
surged
right
through him.
now.
He pressed
Otherwise,
himself against
we
the
might
huge
both
leaves,
die."
hiding beneath them
Hearing
and whispering
his words,
tremblingly,
Mu
"It doesn't seem to have
did
noticed
not
me.
object.
Maybe my
She
aura is too
quickly
weak.
pulled out the
Just what
dragon
kind of
scale
hellish place
and,
is this?
without hesitation,
Why are there bosses
activated
everywhere?"
it.
The
In
lower
an
layer of
instant,
space that
she
teacher
vanished
mentioned
from
didn't
the
sound
place.
this dangerous at all.
The moment
After
Mu
this,
Xianjin
the story shifts to Base
our
Courtyard,
MC
where we
once
see him
again
sitting in his
sprinted
chair,
forward
trying
at
to sense
full
Lin
speed.
Moy's direction.
Running
With a slightly
desperately,
tense
he
tone,
muttered to himself,
he says to Mang,
"I really don't
I'm
know
feeling
why
a
the
little
ancient
uneasy.
earth
Help
dragon
me
sent
sense
me
him.
here.
I can't
Is
manage
it
it on
because
my
I
own."
haven't died
Mang,
fast enough?
who was sitting a little farther
If I get
away,
killed here,
sipping his tea
what
calmly,
good would that
replied,
do for
"Got
him?"
it. He has
He
the
kept
teleportation
glancing
stone
back,
I gave him.
and when he
Through
saw
the
that
divine
the mother
Z-bed,
tree was
I
no
can sense
longer
his
chasing
location.
him, he
But
let
as soon
out a
as he
heavy
said
sigh
this,
of relief
he suddenly
and
felt
said,
something unusual
"Thank
and exclaimed
goodness
with
I have
alarm,
the flying
"This is
skill."
bad." That brat Lin
Otherwise,
Moy was
there
in
would
the
have
lower
been no
space.
way to
The
escape
moment I
from the
heard
giant
this,
leaf
he shot up
mother
from his chair
tree's
in shock
attack
and asked in
range.
disbelief. You can
Frightened,
actually sense
he
that
kept
he's in the lower
fleeing at
space.
full speed.
How did he get there?
After a while,
With a worried
he managed
look,
to reach
Mang said
quite
in a
far.
tense voice,
But
"Don't
then,
panic.
noticing
Let me
something
sense it more
ahead,
carefully."
his heart
With
sank
that kid's
in terror.
strength, even in the lower
From within
space,
the bushes,
as long long as he doesn't
saw
step
a
into certain
massive,
special
enormous
areas,
snake
he won't be in
like
danger.
monster.
After a moment of
his
concentrating,
eyes fell on
Man
it,
continued,
fear
"It seems
surged
like he's
through
near
him.
the wild
He
continent."
pressed himself
Hearing this
against
location,
the huge leaves,
Vi grew anxious
hiding
and said,
beneath them,
"Send me to the
and
lower
whispered
space quickly."
tremblingly,
That brat
"It
hasn't
doesn't
truly
seem to have
experienced the
noticed
lower
me.
space yet.
Maybe my
This isn't the
aura
time
is
for
too
him to be
weak.
there.
Just
The wild
what kind of
continent is a
hellish
monster's
place is
paradise,
this?
full of
Why
bosses
are there
everywhere.
bosses everywhere?
It's far too dangerous."
The lower layer
At
of
this,
space that
Mang looked
teacher
at him
mentioned.
and asked,
It
"Why are
didn't
you in
sound
such a
this
rush?"
dangerous at
Don't
all.
forget Lin Moy went to the
After
ancient
this,
trial
the
grounds for a
story
reason, to
shifts
find the
Bai's
one he was meant to
courtyard,
trade with.
where we see Bai
Besides,
sitting
even
in
you
his
and I
chair,
don't have the ability
trying
to send him
sense
to
the
the lower
direction
space.
of our MC.
How could he possibly break
With a
through the barrier
slightly
between
tense
the upper
tone,
and
he
lower
says to
space on his
Mang,
own?
"Mang,
Hearing this,
I'm feeling
Bai
a
asked in
little
confusion,
uneasy.
"You mean the reason
Help
that
me
brat
sense
appeared
him.
in the lower
I
space
can't
is
manage
because
it
that
on my
person made a
own."
move?" Mang nodded
who was
firmly.
sitting a little
"Exactly.
farther away,
Even things
sipping
that
his
you
tea
and I cannot
calmly,
accomplish,
replied,
only that
"Got
person
it.
has the ability
He
to
has
send
the
Lin Moy into the
teleportation
lower
stone I
space.
gave him.
That's why we don't
Through
need
the
to worry
divine
about his
Zia
safety.
Pagoda, I
If you
can sense
interfere,
his
you
location."
might even disrupt that
But
person's
as soon
plans."
as he said this,
Their conversation
he suddenly
continued,
felt
and Mang
something
added,
unusual,
"Let's hope so.
and with alarm
If
in
Lin
his
Moy
voice
manages to
exclaimed,
fulfill the divine
"This
god's
is bad.
request, then
That
perhaps
brat
before
Lin
long,
is in the
our
lower
human
space."
race will gain another
The moment
half-step
Bai
super
heard
god.
this, He
After
shot
this,
up from
the
his
story
chair
shifts
in
back to
shock
the lower
and
space
asked
where
in
Lin Moyo,
disbelief,
running and hiding,
"You can
had
actually
managed to
sense
get a
that
little
he's
farther
in the
away.
lower space?"
Moving stealthily,
How did he
he
get
whispered
there?
to himself,
With
"I
a
need to be
worried
careful.
look, Mang
I can't
said
let the
in a
monsters
tense
here
voice,
find me."
"Don't
Just
panic.
then, a powerful
Let me
light
sense
burst
it
out
more
from between some
carefully."
mountains ahead.
With that
The glow
kid's
instantly
strength,
caught his
even in the
attention,
lower
and
space,
curiosity
as
pulled
long as
him
he
in that
doesn't
direction.
step into
When he
certain
arrived,
special
he
areas,
discovered a pit
he
nestled
won't be
among the
in danger.
mountains, inside of which lay a
After a
pond
moment
filled
of
with acid.
concentrating,
From within
Mang
that pond,
continued,
waves of
"It seems
powerful
like
acidic
he's
energy
near the
were surging
wild
outward.
continent."
Surrounding the
Hearing
pond on
this
all sides were
location,
snake-type and
grew
toxin-type
anxious and
monsters,
said,
keeping it
"Send
under
me to the
guard."
lower space,
Seeing this,
quickly.
Lin Moyu frowned
That
in
brat
confusion
hasn't
and muttered,
truly
"That
experienced
poison
the
pool.
lower space yet.
It feels
This isn't
strange
the
and
time for
unusual."
him to be there.
To investigate
The
further,
wild
he summoned a
continent is a
skeleton
monster's
warrior,
paradise,
instructing it to scout
full
the
of
area
bosses
and reveal
everywhere.
what the
It's
pond
far
contained.
too dangerous.
The moment the
At
skeleton was
this,
summoned,
Mang
it
looked
rushed
at him
swiftly
and
downhill,
asked, "Why
charging
are you
straight
in
toward
such
the
a rush?"
acid-filled pond.
Don't forget,
As it drew near,
Lin went
small,
to the
weak but
ancient trial
aggressive
grounds
snake-type
for a
monsters
reason to
slithered to
find the
block
one
its
he was
path,
meant to
but the
trade
skeleton
with.
forced its way through
Besides,
them,
even
moving
you and I
directly to
don't
the
have
edge of
the
the pond.
ability to send
Those
him to the
smaller
lower
snake monsters,
space.
however,
With his
dared
own
not step
strength,
closer.
how could he
Watching
possibly
this,
break
Lin
through the
Moyu narrowed his
barrier
eyes and
between
muttered,
upper and
"They don't
lower
dare to
space?"
approach the poison pool.
Hearing this,
What in the
Bai
world is
asked in
inside it?"
confusion.
Meanwhile,
"You mean
the skeleton
the
warrior
reason
pressed
that
on,
brat appeared
stepping
in
into
the
the
lower
acidic
space
pond and
is
dipping its
because
hand into
that
the
person
corrosive
made a
liquid.
move?"
The moment it touched the
Mang
pond,
nodded
the
firmly.
skeleton was instantly
Exactly.
poisoned.
Even
Lin
things
Moyu's
that
eyes
you and
widened
I
in
cannot
surprise.
accomplish.
It got
Only
poisoned.
that person
But then,
has the
to his
ability to
shock,
send
the
Lin
skeleton
into the
pulled out
lower
some
space.
strange crystals from the
That's
pond.
why we don't need to
Seeing
worry
this,
about his
Lin Moyu's
safety.
face lit up with
If you
astonishment.
interfere, you
Toxic
might even
crystals.
disrupt
This poison
that
pool is
person's
actually full of
plans.
toxic crystals.
Their conversation
Without hesitation,
continued,
he spread
and
his
Mang
wings
added,
and flew straight toward
"Let's
the
hope
pond,
so.
hovering
If
above it to
Lin
see where his
manages
skeleton
to
had
fulfill
gone.
the divine
But to his
god's
confusion,
request,
the skeleton
then
was nowhere to
perhaps
be
before
found.
long,
Staring
our
at the
human
pond in
race
shock,
will gain
he asked
another
aloud, "What
half-step
happened?"
super god.
Right after that, the
After
acid pond
this,
began to
the
bubble
story
more
shifts
violently,
back to the
releasing
lower
even
space,
thicker, more
where
poisonous
our
gases
MC,
into the air.
running and hiding,
Ian had reached a
our
position
MC
directly
had
above the
reached
poisonous
directly
pond.
above the
From
poisonous
within it,
pond,
toxic gases
and
were
from
rising,
within it,
stopping the
toxic
nearby
gases
snakes
were
from coming any
rising,
closer.
stopping the
However,
snakes
even
nearby
then,
from
all the
coming
snakes
any
stood
closer.
surrounding the pond.
However,
Not a single
even
one
then,
willing to retreat.
all the snakes
Each
stood
was desperate
surrounding
to
the
push
pond,
ahead of the others,
not a
pressing
single
right
one
up against
willing
the
to
poisonous
retreat.
gas.
Each
They were all
was
near the
desperate
pond,
to push ahead of
slowly
the
moving
others,
forward.
pressing
Seeing
right
this,
up against
Lion's
the poisonous
expression turned
gas.
serious.
They were
With
all
tension
near
in
the
his voice
pond,
and confusion
slowly
clouding his
moving
mind,
forward.
he muttered to himself,
Seeing this,
"Are these
our
snake-like
MC's
monsters
expression
gathering near the
turned
poison
serious.
pond because there's some
With
kind of
tension
treasure
in his
inside?"
voice and
Just
confusion
then,
clouding
even
his
more
mind,
energy
he
began
muttered
pouring
to
out from within the
himself,
pond.
"Are these
Bubbles started to
snake-like
rise,
monsters
and from
gathering
inside,
near the
a
poison
dazzling,
pond
powerful
because
light
there's
burst
some
forth.
kind of treasure
Suddenly,
inside?"
the poisonous liquid shot up
Just
into the
then,
sky,
even more
glowing
energy
brightly.
began
From
pouring
within
out
that venomous
from within the
substance,
pond.
radiant crystals
Bubbles
emerged, the
started to
poison
rise,
crystals.
and from
They scattered
inside
in every
burst
direction,
forth a
flying
dazzling,
wildly through the
powerful
air.
light.
All the snakes
Suddenly,
immediately
the
turned greedy,
poisonous liquid
rushing
shot
madly
up
toward
into
the
the
crystals.
sky, glowing
Each opened its
brightly.
mouth wide,
From
desperate
within
to
that
snatch
venomous
them.
substance,
Watching this,
radiant crystals
Len quickly
emerged
understood.
the poison
These
crystals.
snakes were fighting over
They
the poison
scattered
crystals.
in every direction,
Some serpents managed to
flying
seize one or
wildly
two
through the
crystals
air.
in their jaws, but
All
those
the
who failed
snakes
immediately turned on them,
greedy,
attacking the ones
rushing
who held the
madly
treasure.
toward the crystals.
It was chaos, a
Each
brutal
opened
battlefield.
its mouth wide,
Those without
desperate
crystals
to
hunted
snatch
those with them, and those
Watching
carrying them
this,
tried
our
desperately to
MC
escape, but
quickly
were chased down by
understood
others
these
who wanted to
snakes were
snatch
fighting
them
over
away.
the poison
Amidst this
crystals.
violent scramble,
Some
Len's
serpents
skeleton
managed
warrior
to seize
suddenly
one or
emerged
two
from the
crystals
pond,
in their
its
jaws,
bony hands clutching
but
a large
those who
number of
failed
crystals.
immediately turned
Calmly,
on
without
them,
panic,
attacking
it
the
walked out of
ones
the
who
toxic
held the
gas,
treasure.
still carrying the
It was
glittering
chaos,
treasures.
a brutal
Seeing this,
battlefield.
Len commanded
Those without
firmly,
crystals
"While we have
hunted
the
them,
chance,
and those
collect as many
carrying them
poison
tried
crystals as
desperately
possible."
to escape,
The skeleton
but were
berserker
chased
began
down
moving
by
slowly,
others who
carefully
wanted to
stepping out of the
snatch them
area with the
away.
crystals. But
Amidst
then,
this
behind
violent
Len,
scramble,
appeared the
our
enormous,
MC's
deadly
skeleton
venomous serpent,
warrior
the same
suddenly
terrifying
emerged
creature
from the
he had been
pond,
hiding from
its
earlier.
bony hands
Suspended landed in
clutching
midair.
a large number
Len
of
glanced
crystals.
back and was startled to see
Calmly,
it.
without
His heart
panic,
raced in
it
fear.
walked out of the
Fortunately,
toxic gas,
the colossal
still
serpent had not
carrying
yet
the
noticed
glittering
him.
treasures.
Its attention was
Seeing
fixed
this,
instead on the
our
skeleton
MC
warrior who
commanded
carried so many
firmly,
poison crystals.
"While we have the chance,
This venomous
collect
serpent
as
resembled
many
a dragon.
poison
It even had
crystals as
claws,
possible."
its aura hinting
The
that it was on the
skeleton
verge of
berserker
evolving into
began
something
moving
far more
slowly,
terrifying.
carefully
Catching sight
stepping
of the
out of the
skeleton
area
warrior
with
with
the
its load of
crystals.
crystals,
But
the serpent
then,
lunged straight
behind our
toward it.
MC,
In a single
appeared the
brutal snap
enormous,
of its
deadly,
jaws,
venomous
it crushed
serpent,
and
the
destroyed the
same
skeleton
terrifying
warrior
creature
completely.
he had been
The
hiding
instant the
from
skeleton
earlier.
warrior was annihilated,
Suspended in
a
midair,
notification appeared
our
before
MC
Lan's
glanced
eyes.
back
The skeleton
and was startled
berserker
to
had been
see it.
destroyed.
His
Panic
heart
surged
raced
through
in
him
fear.
as he realized
Fortunately,
such an unreasonable
the colossal
attack.
serpent had
As
not
expected,
yet noticed him.
even a fully linked
Its
talent is
attention was
useless under
fixed
the
instead
absolute
on the
suppression of
skeleton
overwhelming
warrior,
levels.
who carried
Meanwhile,
so
the
many
monstrous
poison
serpent,
crystals.
having destroyed the
This
skeleton
venomous
warrior,
serpent
now hovered
resembled a
directly
dragon.
above the
It
poisonous
even had
pond.
claws.
The surface
Its aura
began to turn
hinting
violently
that it was
once
on the
again.
verge of
Another
evolving
surge of
into
dazzling
something
light
far more
erupted,
terrifying.
and this time something else
Catching
rose from the
sight of the
depth,
skeleton
a strange,
warrior with its
liquid-like
load of
substance.
crystals,
As
the
soon as it
serpent
appeared
lunged
before
straight
Len,
toward it.
a notification
In a
flashed
single
in his
brutal
vision.
snap of
Poison
its
god
jaws,
essence.
it crushed
poison god
and
essence
destroyed
is a rare
the
treasure
skeleton
used
warrior
exclusively by
completely.
poison professions.
The instant the
During the
skeleton
third
warrior
advancement,
was
it
annihilated,
can greatly increase the chances of successful class
before our
sublimation.
MC's eyes.
At the same
The
time,
skeleton
it can also be
berserker
used to
had been
significantly
destroyed.
enhance
Panic
poison-based
surged through
skills,
him as he
making them far
realized
more deadly and
such an
effective.
unreasonable
This powerful
attack.
poison god
As
essence
expected,
illuminated the
even a
entire
fully
area,
linked talent
filling the
is
surroundings with
useless
an
under
even
the
denser cloud of
absolute
toxic
suppression
gas.
of overwhelming
Seeing this
levels.
divine blood,
Meanwhile,
Lan was utterly
the
shocked.
monstrous serpent,
In disbelief,
having
he
destroyed
exclaimed,
the skeleton
"It's actually
warrior,
divine blood."
now hovered
Teacher once
directly
said,
above the
anything
poisonous
related to the
pond.
gods is
The
incomparably
surface
precious.
began to
But
churn
Lan was not
violently
alone
once
here.
again.
That terrifying
Another
venomous
surge
serpent
of
was also
dazzling
present.
light erupted,
Looking at it with
and this
anxiety,
time,
he
something
muttered,
else
"That
rose
boss.
from the depths, a strange
Should I fight for it or
liquid-like
not?"
substance.
Yet in the very next
As
instant,
soon as it
he
appeared
made his
before
decision.
our MC,
With full
a
determination,
notification
he dashed
flashed in his
directly toward
vision.
the poison god
Poison
essence.
god essence.
The moment the serpent noticed
The
Lan
poison
moving
god
toward the
essence
essence,
is a
it
rare
surged forward
treasure
with terrifying
used
speed,
exclusively
heading
by
straight for him.
poison-type
As it drew
professions.
close,
During the
Lan
third
suddenly saw the
advancement,
monster's
it can
stats panel
greatly
appear before
increase
him.
the chances of
Name,
successful
Deadly Venomous
class
Serpent World
sublimation.
Class Boss Level,
At the same
65
time,
strength,
it can also
1
be
million,
used to significantly
500,000
enhance
constitution,
poison-based
17 million
skills,
agility,
making them far
10 million
more deadly
spirit,
and
1 million,
effective.
700,000. This
powerful
monster
poison
possessed 3
god
deadly
essence
abilities,
illuminated
Death
the
Bite,
entire
Merciless
area,
Devour,
filling
and
the
Terrifying
surroundings
Venom.
with an even
But what makes
denser
it truly
cloud of
frightening is its
toxic
unique
gas.
trait. It
Seeing
reduces
this
all
divine
physical
blood,
and elemental
our
damage by
MC
50.
was utterly
Just as
shocked.
Lan reached the blood
In
essence,
disbelief, he
the massive
exclaimed,
serpent opened its
"It's
jaws
actually
wide.
divine blood."
In an instant, it
Teacher
began
once
sucking in
said,
the entire
"Anything
poisonous gas
related
that
to the
filled the
gods
area,
is
swallowing
incomparably
everything into its
precious."
abyss, like
But
Mao.
our MC
Even
was
smaller
not
fragments
alone
and
here.
debris were being
That
dragged in.
terrifying
The pull
venomous
was so
serpent
strong
was
that even
also
Len's
present.
body was being forced
Looking at
backward,
it with
inching
anxiety,
closer
he
toward the
muttered,
monster's devouring
"That
maw.
boss,
Realizing
should
the
I fight
danger,
for it or
his eyes
not?"
hardened. If
Yet
he did
in the
nothing,
very next
the serpent would
instant,
consume
he made
everything,
his
including
decision.
him. Gritting his
With
teeth
full
in anger, he
determination,
roared,
he
"Don't you
dashed
dare try that with
directly
me."
toward the poison
Without
god
hesitation,
essence.
he activated
The
his bone
moment the
prison
serpent
skill.
noticed our
Chains made of
MC
bone shot
moving
out like
toward the
serpents of their
essence,
own,
it
wrapping
surged
tightly
forward
around the
with
venomous
terrifying
serpent,
speed,
restraining it
heading
from every
straight for
side.
him.
But this
As
monster
it
was
drew
no
close,
ordinary foe.
our MC
With a
suddenly
violent
saw
shake of
the
its body,
monster's
the
stats
serpent
panel
shattered the
appear
bone
before
chains in
him.
a single instant.
The name of this
The bone
monster
prison
is
crumbled like
Deadly
glass.
Venomous Serpent,
Lan's heart
a
tightened,
world-class
but instead of
boss.
panicking,
Its
he steadied
level is
himself,
65.
whispering coldly,
Its
"Even though the
strength
bone
is
prison couldn't hold for a single
1,500,000.
second, it's enough."
Its
By this
constitution
time,
is
a
17
pale blue
million.
fire was already
Its
flickering in his
agility
palm,
is
the
10
soul
million.
flame.
And
As
its
the serpent
spirit is
lunged closer, he launched the soul
1,700,000.
flame straight toward it.
Now,
The ghostly
let's talk
fire
about
struck
its
the serpent's
terrifying
head,
skills.
igniting it in a blaze
This
of
monster
soul-burning flame.
possesses 3 deadly
Immediately
abilities:
after, Lan
Death
summoned his
Bite,
entire undead
Merciless
legion.
Devour,
Skeleton
and Terrifying
warriors,
Venom.
skeleton mages,
But what makes
skeleton
it truly
archers,
frightening
and berserkers
is its
all appeared
unique
at once,
trait. It
filling the
reduces all
battlefield.
physical
Each
and
one, the
elemental
moment they
damage by
materialized,
50%.
was already prepared for combat.
Just as our
The venomous
MC
serpent
reached
was
the blood
dangerously
essence,
close,
the
so there was no
massive
time to
serpent
waste.
opened its
In the
jaws
sky above,
wide.
the atmosphere
In an
crackled with
instant,
power,
it began
magic
sucking
flares
in
from
the
the
entire
mages,
poisonous
arrows
gas
whistling from
that
the
filled
archers,
the area,
and the heavy weapons of the
swallowing
warriors
everything
gleaming as
into
they
its
prepared for a
abyss-like
direct
mouth.
assault. Lan
Even
raised his
smaller
voice in
fragments
command,
and debris
his tone
were
sharp
being
and
dragged
urgent.
in.
Attack its
The
eyes,
pull was
blind
so
it so it
strong
cannot
that
see,
even our
block its
MC's
vision at all
body was being
costs.
forced
Hearing their
backward,
master's command,
inching
the
closer
undead
toward
army
the
immediately
monster's
unleashed their
devouring
attacks one
maw.
after another.
Realizing
Skeleton
the
mages
danger,
hurled blazing
his eyes
spells,
hardened.
skeleton archers
If he
fired
did
volleys of
nothing,
arrows,
the serpent
and
would
skeleton warriors
consume
along with the
everything,
berserkers
including
charged
him.
head and to
Gritting
strike
his
with sheer
teeth in
physical
anger,
force.
he roared,
The battlefield
"Don't you
erupted as
dare
wave
try
after
that
wave
with
of
me."
deadly attacks rained down
Without
upon the
hesitation,
colossal serpent.
he
The
activated
serpent was
his
under
bone
heavy
prison
attack,
skill.
explosions erupting
Chains
everywhere
made of
around
bone
it.
shot
Taking
out
advantage
like
of this
serpents
golden
their own,
opportunity,
wrapping
Lan rushed
tightly
straight toward
around
the
the
poison
venomous
god
serpent,
essence. With a
restraining
confident
it from
grin,
every
he
side.
quickly opened his inventory.
But this monster
The moment
was
the
no
essence was stored
ordinary foe.
inside, a
With a
notification
violent shake
appeared.
of its
He had
body,
successfully
the
obtained the
serpent
poison
shattered
god
the bone
essence.
chains in
Seeing
a
the treasure
single
now
instant.
resting in his hands,
The bone
the venomous
prison
serpent went
crumbled
into a
like
furious
glass.
rage.
Our
Its eyes
MC's
burned with
heart
murderous
tightened,
intent as
but
it
instead
glared
of
at him.
panicking,
With another
he
violent
steadied
roar,
himself,
it opened its
whispering
massive jaws
coldly,
wide and began
"Even though
sucking
the
everything
bone
in,
prison couldn't
trying to
hold
swallow
for a
Len whole
single
along with the
second.
toxic
It's
air
enough.
around them. But before
By
it could
this
succeed,
time, a
several
pale
powerful
blue
energy
fire was
blasts
already
suddenly struck
flickering in
inside
his
its mouth.
palm, the
The
soul
serpent
flame.
recoiled in pain,
As the serpent
whipping its head
lunged
around to find the
closer,
source.
he launched the
To its
soul
shock,
flame
Len's
straight
skeleton
toward it.
warriors had
The
already
ghostly
arrived,
fire
soaring
struck
through the
the
air,
serpent's head,
completely surrounding the
igniting it
dragon
in a
like
blaze
beasts.
of soul
Looking at the
burning
enraged
flame.
serpent, Len's expression
Immediately
turned cold
after,
and serious as he
RMC
declared,
summoned
"You want to
his
keep me
entire
here?
undead
You
legion.
can't." Without
Skeleton
hesitation,
warriors,
he activated
skeleton
his strong
mages,
soldier
skeleton
ability.
archers, and
Immediately,
berserkers
waves
all
of powerful
appeared at
energy
once,
surged into
filling
all of
the
his skeleton
battlefield.
warriors,
Each
strengthening
one,
their
the
bodies and
moment they
weapons.
materialized,
At the same
was
time,
already
he reignited
prepared
his
for
soul
combat.
flame, its ghostly
The
light
venomous
blazing all
serpent
around
was
him.
dangerously
Raising his
close,
hand with a
so
confident
there was
smile,
no time
he
to
mocked the
waste.
serpent. "Didn't
In
you
the
enjoy
sky
swallowing
above,
my
the
skeletons
atmosphere
before?
crackled
Then
with
go on,
power
try
magic
swallowing them
flares from
again."
the mages.
The venomous
The
serpent was
venomous
surrounded on
serpent
all
was
sides by
surrounded from
Len's
all
skeleton
sides
warriors.
by our
The entire
MC's
area was
skeleton
filled with them.
warriors, and
However,
at this moment,
the serpent
the
immediately
entire
opened its
area
mouth
was
once
filled
again
with them.
and began devouring the
However,
skeletons.
the venomous
At that
serpent
very moment,
immediately
Len
opened its
activated
mouth
Soul
once
Flame
again
and unleashed it
began
upon the
devouring
creature.
the skeleton.
Yet, The soul
But
flame
at that
had no
very
effect.
moment,
Once
our
again,
MC
it opened its
activated
mouth to
the
swallow
soul
the skeleton
flame
warriors.
and released it on
The skeleton
venomous
warriors
serpent.
stepped back slightly
Yet,
and began
the soul
launching different
flame
types
had
of
no
attacks.
effect on the venomous
Violent
serpent,
blast
and
notifications
once again,
became visible,
it opened
and
its
along with
mouth
them,
to swallow
elemental
the
explosions
skeleton
erupted.
warriors.
The battle
The
raged equally
skeleton
on both
warriors
sides.
then stepped back
Violent
slightly
blasts
from the
and
venomous
elemental
serpent
explosions
and
struck the
began
venomous
launching
serpent from different
types of
directions.
attacks.
However, the serpent was
Violent
not weak
blast
either.
notifications
With its tail
became
and various
visible in
types
front
of
of us,
attacks,
and
it
along
continued
with
to
them,
relentlessly
elemental
destroy Len's
explosions
skeleton
were
warriors.
also erupting.
At this moment,
The
the
battle
entire area
raged
was also
equally
filled
from
with a
both
toxic
sides.
gas,
Violent
covering
blasts
everything in a
and
poisonous
elemental
mist.
explosions
Meanwhile,
struck the
Len
venomous
had already
serpent from
obtained the
different
item he came
directions.
for, so he had
However,
no intention
the
of staying a
venomous
moment
serpent
longer.
was not weak
He was
either.
determined to leave as
With
quickly
its
as
tail
possible,
and various
and with
types
that
of
thought in
attacks,
mind,
it
he began to
continued
run.
destroying our
However,
MC's
the other snakes that had been
skeleton
standing by
warriors
to obtain the
relentlessly.
poison crystal also
At
saw
this
Len
moment,
trying to escape.
the entire
Seeing
area
this,
was also
they all launched a
filled with
combined
toxic
attack on him.
gas,
Looking
covering
at them,
everything in
he
a
laughed and
poisonous
said,
mist.
"If I can't deal with the
Meanwhile,
boss, do
our
you really
MC
think I
had
can't deal with
already
you?
obtained the item
My
he
strong
came
soldier
for,
state hasn't
so
even
he
ended
had
yet."
no intention
Immediately,
of staying here
he activated
even
the
for a
soul
moment
flame
longer.
against these remaining
He was
snakes.
determined to
As soon as
leave
the soul flame
quickly
struck
as
the smaller
possible,
snakes,
and with
they
that
began to
thought in
burn.
mind,
Without
he began
wasting
to
any
run.
time, he also
However,
activated skeleton
the other
fangs,
snakes that
as
had
he
been
did not want to
standing
stay
here
any longer
earlier
than
to
necessary.
obtain the poison
Using skeleton
crystal
fangs,
also
he quickly
saw
killed
our
the smaller
MC
snakes
trying
and
to
began
escape.
collecting their corpses.
Seeing this,
These smaller
they all
snakes were
launched
also
a
level
combined
72
attack on
venomous
him.
pythons.
Looking at
And each
them,
one gave
he
Len
laughed and
4,320,000
said,
experience
boss,
points upon
do you
death.
really think
In
I
this
can't
way,
deal with
he
you?
managed to gather a
My
large number of
strong
snake
soldier state
corpses.
hasn't even
Now,
ended
he was
yet.
ready to unleash his favorite
Immediately,
attack.
he
He
activated
immediately
the soul
used
flame
corpse
against
explosion,
these
and
remaining
blasts began to
snakes.
shake the
And
entire
as soon
area.
as the soul
The
flame
ground trembled
struck the
violently,
smaller snakes,
and seeing
they
this,
began to
Len
burn.
smiled widely.
Without wasting
Then,
any time,
looking toward the
he
venomous
also
serpent,
activated
he smirked and
skeleton
said,
fangs
"Let me gift
because
you a
he did not
magnificent
want to stay
explosion."
here any
The moment he
longer
said
than
this,
necessary.
the entire area was
Using
once again
skeleton
engulfed in
fangs,
violent
he
explosions.
quickly killed the
Continuous
smaller
notifications
snakes and
appeared
began
before
collecting
Len,
their
showing level
corpses.
72 to level
These
75
smaller
monsters
snakes were
being
also
slain.
level 72
Each notification
venomous
granted him
pythons,
either
and each one gave our MC
4,320,000 or 4,500,000 experience points,
upon
one
death.
after another.
In
All the
this
snakes
way,
present
he
in the area
managed
were
to gather
consumed by
a
the
large
explosions,
number of snake
and even
corpses.
the venomous serpent was caught within their
Now, he was
devastating
ready
range.
to unleash his
Continuous
favorite
messages
attack.
of smaller snakes
He
dying kept
immediately
flooding in
used
9,
corpse
10, and
explosion,
more.
and
Yet,
blasts
despite
began
everything,
shaking the
no
entire
notification
area.
of the venomous
The
serpent's
ground
death
trembled
appeared.
violently,
Because of the
and
massive amount of
seeing this,
experience he
our
gained,
MC
Len's level
smiled
suddenly
widely.
increased.
Then,
A powerful
looking
lightning
toward
bolt
the
struck
venomous
down upon
serpent,
him,
he
and a level
smirked
of
and said,
notification appeared
"Let me
before
gift
him.
you a
Len
magnificent
had now reached
explosion."
level 51.
The moment
Seeing
he
this,
said this,
he spoke
the
seriously.
entire area
"I don't even
was
know
once
exactly
again
how many
engulfed
snake
in
monsters I've
violent
killed,
explosions.
but it's actually enough to let me
Continuous
level up."
notifications
After everyone
appeared
present
before
had been
our
killed,
MC,
Len was
showing
still
level
standing there when
72
suddenly the
to
area
level
around him began to
75
change.
monsters being
Fierce
slain.
winds started blowing across
Each
the sky.
notification granted
Lightning began
him
to
either
crackle, and a tornado, like
4,320,000
vortex, slowly
or
began to form.
4,500,000
Seeing this,
experience
Len became a
points,
little
one
serious and
after
muttered,
another.
wondering if it was coming
All
back
the
again.
snakes present
He
in the
quickly turned
area
his
were
head,
consumed by
looking
the
all around.
explosions,
But when he
and
couldn't
even
see
the venomous
anything,
serpent
he said in
was caught
confusion,
within their
"What exactly is
devastating
happening
range."
here? What's really going
Continuous
on?"
messages
He
of
couldn't
smaller
understand what
snakes
was
dying
happening.
kept
Just
flooding in
then,
9,
the massive
10,
rocks surrounding the
and more.
poisonous pond
Yet,
began to shatter
despite
and crumble.
everything, no
Huge chunks of
notification
stone
of the
started falling
venomous
toward Len
serpent's
as well,
death appeared.
and he narrowly dodged them,
Because
saying,
of the
"What
massive
is
amount
this?
of experience
Is it
he
some kind of
gained,
mechanism
our
from the lower
MC's
space?"
level suddenly
The fierce winds
increased.
quickly spread across
A
the entire
powerful
area,
lightning bolt
dragging
struck
everything
down
into their
upon
grip.
him, and the
Somehow,
level up
Len managed to
notification
resist the
appeared in
storm
front
and
of
landed
him.
on the ground.
Our MC
Terrified,
had now
his voice
reached
trembling
level
with fear,
51.
he said,
Seeing
"This is
this,
horrifying.
he spoke
If
seriously.
I hadn't leveled up just
I don't
now,
even know
I might have thought
exactly
I
how
was
many
hallucinating."
snake monsters
At this
I've
moment,
killed,
he had
but
landed
it's
right
actually
beside the
enough to
poisonous
let me
pond.
level up.
Above him, the
After
fierce winds
everyone
still
present
raged,
had been
threatening to
killed,
consume
our
everything.
MC was
So,
still
he ended
standing
up
there
landing
when
very close to
suddenly
the pond.
the area
Staring
around
at it
him
in
began
shock,
to change
he
into
asked,
a different
"Why
form.
is this poisonous pond still
Fierce
here,
winds
untouched
started
and not
blowing
cleared
across
away?"
the sky.
Curious,
Lightning
he dipped a
began to
single finger
crackle,
into the pond.
and a
The
tornado-like
moment his finger
vortex
touched the
slowly
poisonous
began
water,
to
a
form.
notification appeared
Seeing
before
this,
him.
our
Poison
MC
state
became
immunity.
a little
Seeing
serious
this,
and muttered,
he said confidently,
wondering if it
with
was
my
coming
state
back
immunity,
again.
I can
He
ignore the
quickly
poison of
turned
this
his
pond.
head, looking
Without
all
hesitation,
around.
he
But when
descended
couldn't
into the
see
poisonous
anything,
pond.
he said in
As he waded
confusion,
further in,
"What
nervousness
exactly
filled
is
his
happening
voice as he
here?
muttered, the
What's
previous
really
poison
going on?"
crystals, they were
He
shut out
couldn't
from here.
understand what
He
was
moved
happening.
forward slowly,
Just
and as he
then,
went deeper into
the
the
massive
pond,
rocks
the poisonous
surrounding the
waters grew
poisonous
increasingly
pond began
dangerous.
to shatter
Fierce
and
waves
crumble
erupted,
down.
and bubbles of
Huge
toxic
chunks
gas
of
rose
stone
to the
started
surface.
falling toward
If an
our
ordinary
MC
person
as well,
entered this place,
and he
they would
narrowly
melt away
dodged them,
instantly.
saying,
But thanks
"What
to his
is
poison
this?
state
Is
immunity,
it some kind
Len
of
remained
mechanism
unharmed.
from the lower
He
space?"
dove under the water,
The
swimming
fierce
downward
winds
toward the
quickly
source from where
spread
the
across
poison
the
crystals had
entire
emerged.
area,
After
dragging
going deeper,
everything
he
into
discovered
their
a
grip.
tunnel inside the pond.
Somehow,
From
our
this tunnel,
MC
countless
managed to
poison
resist
crystals
the
were flowing
storm
out.
and landed
Seeing
on the
this,
ground.
he thought, inside this
Terrified,
hole,
his
what
voice
exactly lies
trembling with
within?
fear, he
With
said,
that thought, he
"This
rushed
is
forward into the
horrifying.
hole.
If I
moving
hadn't
steadily
leveled up
deeper.
just now,
After
I
traveling
might
for a
have thought
while,
I was
he eventually
hallucinating.
reached another place.
At this
Through
moment,
the tunnel of the
he had
pond,
landed right
he had arrived
beside the
inside an
poisonous
unknown cave.
pond.
As soon as he
Above him,
emerged from the
the
water
fierce
and
wind
stepped into the
still
cavern,
raged,
he looked around
threatening
and
to
discovered a
consume
large
everything.
coffin resting
So
within.
he ended up landing
Stunned,
very
he
close
muttered,
to the pond.
wondering if it was truly a
Staring
coffin.
at it in shock,
Draped over
he
the
asked,
coffin was a green
"Why
cloth.
is this
Slowly,
poisonous
he
pond
approached
still
it,
here,
and when he looked
untouched
inside,
and not
he
cleared
gasped
away?"
in shock. Lying
Curious,
within was a
he
man, the
dipped
god
a
of poison.
single finger
His
into the
status
pond.
showed as sleeping.
The moment
Seeing
his
this,
finger touched
Len
the
exclaimed
poisonous
in
water,
disbelief,
a
"This is the tomb of the
notification
god of
appeared
poison."
before him.
He stepped
Poison
closer,
state
examining
immunity.
the god of poison's
Seeing
face
this,
carefully,
he said
and
confidently,
said, "No wonder
"With
the
my
poisonous
state
pond was
immunity,
spewing out
I
the
can
essence of the
ignore
god
the
of poison.
poison of this
So,
pond."
he has been slumbering here
Without
all along.
hesitation,
Judging
he
by the
descended
wounds on
into
his
the
body that
poisonous
cannot heal,
pond.
he must
As he
already be on
waded
the brink of
further
death.
in,
Just then,
nervousness filled
a
his
surge of
voice
powerful
as he
energy
muttered,
erupted from
"The
the god of
previous
poison's
poison
body.
crystals,
His eyes
they were
opened
shot
suddenly,
out from here."
and as they did,
He
a
moved
thick poisonous
forward
gas
slowly,
spread throughout the chamber,
and as he went
pouring
deeper
out like
into
an
the
overwhelming
pond,
source
the
of energy.
balance of the
Seeing
poisonous
this,
waters
Len's
grew
face went
increasingly
pale,
dangerous.
and he muttered in shock,
Fierce
"He's still
waves
alive."
erupted inside,
He quickly retreated,
and
his
bubbles
voice
of
trembling
toxic
as he
gas
whispered in
rose to the
disbelief,
surface.
"How can this be possible?
If an ordinary
He must have
person
slumbered
entered
here
this
for
place,
countless years.
they would melt
If he
away
could have revived,
instantly.
he would have done
But
so
thanks
long
to his
ago.
poison
This
state
is nothing
immunity,
more than my
our
intrusion,
MC
triggering
remained
the obsession
unharmed.
left behind by his
He
remnant
dove
soul.
under the water,
Without wasting
swimming
another
downward
second,
toward
he
the
activated
source from
Strong
where the
Soldier
poison
and immediately
crystals had
unleashed Soul
emerged.
Flame.
After
Terrified
going
yet
deeper,
furious,
he
shouted,
discovered a
"Damn
tunnel
old thing,
inside the pond.
since you're already dead,
From this
obediently
tunnel,
crawl back into your
countless
coffin."
poison
The
crystals
moment
were
Len's Soul
flowing
Flame
out.
attack struck the
Seeing
coffin,
this,
the
he
body
thought,
inside melted
"Inside
instantly,
this hole,
transforming
what
into pure
exactly
energy.
lies within?"
Seeing this,
With
Len
that
gasped
thought,
in astonishment.
he rushed forward
It really
into the
worked.
hole,
I was
moving
right.
steadily deeper.
He only had a single wisp
After
of a remnant
traveling
soul
for a
lingering
while,
here.
he
At this
eventually
moment,
reached another
poison's
place.
energy surged
Through
wildly
the tunnel
around the
of the
coffin.
pond, he
As
had
soon as
arrived
Len's system
inside
detected
an
this
unknown
energy,
cave.
notifications
As soon
flashed
as he
before him one
emerged
after
from the
another.
water and
You have
stepped
slain
into
the
the
poison
cavern,
god and
he
his
looked
divine
around
general.
and discovered
Your
a
high
large
elemental
coffin
immunity has
resting
been raised
within.
to its absolute
Stunned,
maximum
he
limit.
muttered,
You have obtained the
wondering if it
mid-tier
was
godhood,
truly a
and with this
coffin.
victory,
Draped
you have
over the
inherited the
coffin
divine
was
seat
a
of the
green
poison
cloth.
god himself.
Slow.
After arriving
Our
at the
MC
poisonous pond and
arrives at the
slaying all the
poisonous
serpents,
pond.
Lin Moy leaped
After
into the
slaying
water.
all the serpents,
Inside, he
leaps
discovered
into
a
the
hidden
pond.
cave. The moment he
Inside,
passed
he
through it, he
discovers
encountered
a
the
hidden
soul
cave,
body of the poison
and the
god.
moment he passes
As he examined
through
it,
he
the poison god
encounters the
suddenly
soul
opened his
body
eyes.
of the poison
To
god.
protect itself, the
As he
poison god's soul
examines it,
began releasing
the
a
poison
thick,
god
deadly poisonous
suddenly
gas.
opens his eyes.
But seeing this,
To
Lin
protect
Moy
itself,
immediately struck.
the poison
With a
god's
single
soul
blow,
begins
the remnant
releasing
soul
a
was
thick,
destroyed.
deadly
At that
poisonous
moment,
gas.
a flood of notifications
But seeing
appeared before
this,
him.
our
The
MC
first notification
immediately
read,
strikes.
"You have slain the
With a
poison
single
god and his
blow,
divine
the
general.
poison god
Your
is
high
destroyed."
elemental immunity has been
At
raised
that
to its
moment, our
absolute
hero
maximum.
realizes
You have
this
obtained
was
the middle
nothing
tier
more
godhood.
than a remnant soul.
With this victory, you
The
have
moment
inherited
our
the divine
MC
seed of the poison
destroyed
god
the remnant
himself.
soul power
Immediately
of the
after,
poison
another
god.
related
A flood
notification
of
popped
different
up,
notifications
explaining that by
began
absorbing the
appearing
middle tier
before him.
godhood, one could
The
become a
very
deity
first
and comprehend the
notification that
power within
appeared
to become a
was,
god,
"You
level
have slain the
powerhouse."
poison
By
god,
fusing with the
and
divine
along with
seed of the
him
poison
his
god,
divine general.
one could become the new
Your
poison
high
god.
elemental immunity
Seeing
has
this,
been
he
raised
was
to
utterly
its
shocked.
absolute
He couldn't
maximum
believe his
limit.
own eyes.
You have
Just
obtained
then,
the middle
a powerful
tier
bolt of
godhood,
lightning
and
struck
with
him,
this victory,
and another
you have
notification
inherited
appeared.
the
He
divine
had leveled
seed of
up.
the poison
Lin
god
Moyo,
himself.
whose level had just reached
Immediately
51,
after this,
now
another
instantly rose
related
to level
notification
52.
popped up.
He quickly
Middle
closed his
tier
eyes and
godhood.
entered his
By
spiritual
absorbing
world,
a godhood,
where he saw three
one
distinct
can
things:
become a
the domain
deity,
godstone,
and also
the divine
comprehend
seed
the
of the
power
poison
within
god,
the godhood
and the middle
to
tier
become a
godhood.
god-level
Completely
powerhouse.
astonished, he muttered to
Divine
himself in
seed of the
disbelief.
poison god.
So that is the
By
godhood and the
fusing with
divine
the divine seat,
seat, a middle
one
tier
can
deity's
become the
divine
new
seat.
poison god.
Does this mean as long as
Seeing
I will
this,
it,
he was
I can
utterly
truly become the
shocked.
new poison god?
He couldn't
A
believe
wave
his
of
own
excitement
eyes.
rose
Was
within
this
him,
really
and he muttered,
happening?
"I want to become
And
a
just
super
then,
god level
a
powerhouse."
powerful bolt of
The moment he
lightning
spoke
struck
those
down
words,
upon him,
a powerful
and
energy
another
began to surge from the
notification
pond,
appeared. He had
vibrating
leveled
the
up.
entire lower
Our
space.
MC sea,
The area
whose level
started to
had
glow
just
brightly,
reached
and this
51 a
energy
moment
spread,
ago,
making
now
everything
instantly
shine.
rose
The
to
very
level
place where Lin
52.
Moyi was fighting giant trees just
Realizing
moments
this,
ago
he
also
quickly
began to
closed
radiate
his
with
eyes
lightning.
and entered
This
his
phenomenon was
spiritual
not
world,
limited to the lower
where
space,
he saw
it
three
appeared in the
distinct
human
things
world as
before
well.
him.
There,
First,
Bai
the
Yuan and
domain
Mang Inwen
godstone.
felt an overwhelming
Second,
pressure
the
as the
divine
atmosphere
seat
changed
of the poison
completely.
god.
From the heavens,
And third,
a divine
the middle
meteor
tier
shower began to
godhood.
rain down. They both
Completely
recognized
astonished,
it, saying,
he muttered
"It's a
to
divine
himself
meteor
in
shower.
disbelief.
A god has
So,
fallen,
that is
a
the
mid-tier
godhood
god."
and the
The
divine
same scene
seat.
unfolded in the
A
Abyss
middle-tier
world.
deity's
As divine meteors
seat.
rained down,
Does
the
this
succubus
mean,
queen
as long
witnessed
as
the
I
event
will
and
it,
said,
I can
"A god has
truly
fallen.
become the new
Who could have
poison
done this?"
god?
The impact of the
moment
god's
our
fall
MC
spread everywhere.
sees that he can
Even the
become a
powerful
new
dragon,
god, a
and
wave
Tears,
of
who had been
excitement
in a deep
rises
slumber,
within him,
was
and he
awakened by the
mutters to
lightning and
himself,
crashing sounds.
I want
He
to
rose
become
to
a
his feet,
super god
roaring in
level
anger,
powerhouse.
"All of you be silent.
And the
There
moment
is too
he
much
speaks
noise."
those words,
He looked around and
powerful
realized
energy
divine
begins
meteors
to
were
surge
falling.
out of that
He understood
pond,
that a god had
vibrating
fallen,
the
but it
entire
confused
lower
him deeply
space
because
where
there
the
had been no
poisonous
battle or
pond
clash
was
of power.
located.
The story
that
shifts back to
entire
Lin
area
Moyo,
starts to
who
glow
emerged from the
brightly.
pond,
And this
muttering,
powerful
"If others
energy
find out
was
that I
not
possess a
limited to
complete
just
god's
this
corpse,
place, it
they will
spread
surely go
throughout the
mad."
entire
He
lower
held the
space,
elemental godstone
making
in his
everything
hand.
shine.
"Let's fuse the
The
whirlwind
very
crystal I
place where,
obtained in the
just
wind element
moments
dungeon
ago,
with the lightning
our
crystal I
MC
got
was
from the
fighting
Dongfeng
those
family's
giant
lightning
trees
element
also
dungeon,"
begins to
he said.
radiate with
A
lightning.
notification
But
appeared.
the
The
lightning
elemental
wasn't
godstone now
confined to
contained
only
the
this
elements of
lower
fire,
space. It
poison,
appeared even
earth,
in the human
light,
world.
and water.
There,
During the
we
third
see
job
Bai and
transfer,
Meng,
using
who
it would
both
increase the
feel this
chances of career
overwhelming
advancement
pressure
by
because the
25.
atmosphere
Lin
around
Moyu
them
immediately
has
fused the
completely
2
changed,
additional crystals
and
into
from
the
the
stone.
heavens, a
Another
divine meteor
notification
shower
appeared. The
begins to
elemental
rain
godstone
down.
now contained fire,
Seeing this,
poison,
they
earth,
both say,
light, water,
"It's a
wind,
divine
and lightning."
meteor shower.
The chance of
A
career
god has
advancement had
fallen,
increased to
and it is a
35.
mid-tier god.
After placing the elemental
The same
godstone into
scene
his
was
inventory,
unfolding in
Lin
the
Moyu
Abyss
looked back
world
at the
as
pond.
well.
Seriously,
There too,
it seems this
divine
poisonous
meteors
pond will
rained
soon
down
cease
from
to
the
exist.
sky, and
Perhaps
all the
those
lesser
serpentine
demons
beasts will
stared
no
upward
longer
in
be able
shock.
to gain fortune
We
from here.
then see the
He then
succubus
activated his
queen,
skeleton
who,
wings and
upon
flew away,
witnessing this,
thinking,
says,
"I
"A
should go
god
and
has
complete the
fallen.
ancient Earth
Who could
Dragon's
have done
mission.
this?"
This place is
No
far
one
too
knew
dangerous.
yet who was responsible.
Boss monsters
But
lurk
the fall
everywhere.
of a god
It's
spreads
better to
its
leave
impact
quickly."
everywhere.
Flying at full speed,
We
he
also
looked
see
down
that
and was
powerful
startled.
dragon
It
who
feels
had
like
been
I've entered
sleeping
another
in deep
place.
slumber.
He descended,
The
but the
area
moment his
around
foot
him,
touched the
too,
ground, it felt
bursts
soft
with
and mushy.
lightning.
Not
As
like
he
solid
hears
earth.
the crashing
Suddenly,
sounds
an
from the
octopus
heavens
like
above,
monster appeared
he
right in front of
rises
him.
to his feet,
It was the very
roaring
creature
in
he had
anger.
stepped on.
"All of you,
Shocked,
be
Lin
silent.
Moyu exclaimed,
There is
"Why
too
would a
much
monster like
noise."
this appear on the
As
grassland?"
he says this,
The monster
he looks
unleashed a
around
massive
and
water
realizes
tornado,
that divine
transforming the
meteors
land
are
into a
falling
sea.
from the sky,
Lin
and
Moyu leaped
lightning
upward
is
to a
blazing
distant peak
everywhere.
as the monster dove back
Even he
underground.
understands that
He quickly
suddenly
summoned
a
skeleton
god has
warriors,
fallen.
who began striking the
But this
spot where the monster
confused him
disappeared.
deeply,
Even
because
after
there had
countless
been no
strikes,
battle,
the ground
no
only
clash
fractured
of
slightly.
power, and yet,
Lin Moyu
without
murmured,
warning,
"There's a thick layer
a
of ice
god had
beneath,
fallen."
so that octopus monster
After
was
this,
drinking water.
the story
Could it be
shifts
this place
directly
used to
to
be
our
an ocean?
MC,
Just
who
then,
emerges
he
from
noticed
the
a blast
pond,
in the distance
muttering
and
to
saw many
himself,
people battling
"If
another
others
octopus
find
like
out
these."
that I possess
He wondered,
a complete
"Who are
god's
these people?
corpse, they
They are
will
not
surely
professionals
go
from the
mad."
divine Xia Empire.
At this moment,
The story
he is
shifts to the
holding
group,
the
who
elemental
had just slain the
godstone
octopus.
in his hand.
They began cutting it
Looking
apart
at
to
it,
collect
he
a
says,
liquid substance,
"Let's fuse the
storing it in
whirlwind
leather
crystal
bags.
I obtained
These people
in the
belonged
wind
to the
element
Eagle Guild.
dungeon with the
Once they
lightning
finished,
crystal
their
I
leader
got
shouted,
from the
"Have we
Dongfeng
collected all the
family's
purification
lightning
water?"
element dungeon."
"Yes, everything
From
is
the
ready."
element
The others
godstone,
responded.
a
Their
notification
leader roared,
appears before
"Excellent.
our MC.
Distribute the
Now
purification
the
water.
element godstone
With this, we can
contains
greatly
the
reduce
elements
the
of
effects
fire,
of the poison. This
earth,
time, our Eagle
light,
Guild will
and
surely
water.
slay the venomous flood
During the
dragon
third
and wash
job
away our
transfer,
past humiliation.
using it will
From a
increase
distance,
the chances
Lin Moyu
of
listened
career
and thought,
advancement
"So,
by
these people are preparing
25%.
to hunt the venomous serpent.
Right now,
What a
in
pity.
his hand,
You
our
are
MC
one step too
has
late.
2 more
The
stones,
venomous serpent has
which he
already been
immediately
devoured by the
fuses
earth and
into the
vanished
element
without a
stone.
trace." The
The
guild
moment
members
both
shouted with
stones
excitement,
merge,
"Move
another
out.
notification
Head toward the land
appears.
of serpents."
Now the
All of the men
element
soared away at full
godstone
speed.
contains fire,
Watching them depart,
poison,
Lin
earth,
Moyu thought,
light,
"It seems this
water,
must be a region where
wind,
human
and
professionals
lightning.
operate.
The
Perhaps I
chances
might
of
find
career
people from the divine
advancement have
Xia
now
Empire here."
increased to 35%.
An hour later, while flying forward,
Without
Lin
wasting
Moyu
any
suddenly
more
encountered
time,
members of the
our
Giant
MC
Guild.
places the
Our MC,
Our
Lin
MC
Moyu,
charged forward
at full speed and spotted the
and
Eagle Guild
spotted an
fighting against a
Eagle
monster.
Guild who were
He was
fighting
seeing them
against
for the
a
very
monster.
first time, and
He
after
was
watching
seeing
their
them for
entire
the very
battle,
first
he continued
time.
on his way.
And after
As he
watching
flew
their
further
entire
ahead,
battle,
his
he
eyes suddenly
continued on
caught
his
sight
way.
of the Giant Guild.
As he
Seeing
flew
them,
further ahead,
Lin Moyu
his
immediately
eyes
rushed over
suddenly
and
caught
stopped right
sight
in
of
front
the
of them.
Giant Guild.
The moment the people of the Giant
Seeing
Guild
them,
saw Lin
our
Moyu,
MC
they instantly
immediately
understood,
rushed over
this
and
person must
stopped
be from
right in front
Shangxia.
of them.
Looking at them,
The moment
Lin
the
Moyu
people
also
of
asked
Jialan
curiously,
Guild saw our
"Are you all
MC,
from the Giant
they
Guild?"
instantly
As soon as they
understood
heard the
this
name of their
person
guild
must
from our
be from
MC's mouth,
Shangxia.
the leader of their
Looking at
team
them,
smiled with
our
delight and
MC
asked with a
also
cheerful
asked
laugh,
curiously,
"Little brother,
"Are you
do you know
all
our
from
Jian
Jialan Guild?"
Hearing his words,
As
our
soon
MC
as they
smiled
heard the
back
name
and
of
replied
their guild
warmly,
from
"Yes,
our MC's
I know
mouth,
Jialan Yeyu from the upper
leader of
space."
their team,
The moment moment the
one
leader
who
heard
was
this
leading
name,
everyone
his face
smiled with
instantly lit
delight
up with joy.
and asked with
He
a
placed his
cheerful
hand on our
laugh,
MC's
"Little
shoulder
brother,
in a friendly
do you
manner
know our
and, smiling
Jialan
broadly,
guild?"
said, "So,
Hearing his
you are one of
words,
our own.
our MC
My name is
smiled
Jialan
back
Ming,
and
a level
replied
82
warmly,
holy word knight.
"Yes, I know
Yayu is my
Jialan
little
Yayu
sister."
from the upper
This leader of
space.
the Jialan guild
The
was indeed
moment the
named
leader
Jialan
heard
Ling,
this name
a
from
level
our
82 holy
MC's
word
mouth,
knight.
his
He had not
face
yet
instantly
recognized
lit
who
up
Lin
with
Moyu
joy.
really was.
He placed
Seeing
his
his
hand
friendly
on our
attitude and hearing
MC's
his
shoulder
words,
in a
Lin
friendly
Moyu
manner
also introduced
and,
himself,
smiling
saying,
broadly,
"My
said,
name is
"So,
Lin Moyu.
you are one
I'm
of
a
our
level
own.
52
My
necromancer."
name is
The
Galan
moment
Liang,
Jialan Ling heard
level
Lin Moyu's
82
level,
holy
he was
word knight.
completely shocked.
Yayu
With
is
wide
my
eyes,
little
he asked in
sister.
disbelief,
This
"What?
leader of
You're level
Jialan Guild
52.
was indeed
How did you
named
even get
Galan
into this lower
Liang,
space?"
a level
Lin Moyu
82
scratched his
holy
head in
word
confusion
knight.
and replied,
He had
"Well,
not yet
let's talk about that
recognized
later."
who our MC
The other members
really
of the guild
was.
were equally shocked.
Seeing his
They
friendly
couldn't believe what
attitude
they were
and
seeing.
hearing his words,
One of them
our
exclaimed,
MC
"A level
also
52 little
introduced
brother,"
himself,
and he came
saying,
alone into the
"My
lower
name
space.
is Lin Moyu.
Another added with
I'm a level
disbelief,
52
and he even managed to
necromancer."
safely find us.
The moment
Yet another
Galan
muttered in
Liang
shock,
heard our
"What am I even
MC's
seeing?
level,
How
he
is
was
he unharmed?"
completely shocked.
At this point,
With
Jialan
wide
Ling looked
eyes,
at him
he asked
seriously
in
and said,
disbelief,
"Brother
"What?
Lin Moyu,
You're level
I think you've just
52?
created history.
How did you
We've
even
been in the
get
lower
into this
space for
lower
more than 2
space?"
years. and we've never seen anyone below level 70 down here. In response, Lin Moyu explained, I also ended up here because of some
the
accidents.
Other members of the guild
Hearing that,
were equally
Jialan
shocked.
Ling laughed,
They
patted
couldn't
Lin Moyu on the
believe what
back,
they were seeing.
and said with a smile,
One of them
luckily,
exclaimed,
you arrived
a
at
level
this king-high
52
grassland.
little brother,
If he had
and
gone
he
further
came
into the
alone
giant
into
leaf
the lower
forest with a
space,
viper wasteland,
another
it would have been
added with
extremely
disbelief,
dangerous.
and he
Here's
even
what we'll do,
managed to
stay with
safely
us for
find
now.
us.
Once we're
Yet
done with our
another
task
muttered
here,
in shock.
we'll take you back
What
with
am I
us.
even seeing?
How
How is he
have a base in the
unharmed?
lower space where
At
we've
this
set up a
point,
teleportation array to leave the
looked
ancient
at him
trial ground.
seriously and
Hearing his
said,
words,
Brother
our
Lin
MC
Moyu,
chuckled and
I
replied
think you've
gratefully,
just created
then I'll have to
history.
trouble you, Brother
We've been
Ling.
in the lower
In his
space
mind,
for more
he
than
thought,
2 years,
let's use this
and we've
opportunity
never
to
seen
understand the
anyone
situation
below
of the
level
lower
70
space.
down here.
After finishing
In
their
response,
conversation,
our MC
everyone set out
explained,
together.
I also
Lin
ended
Moyu
up
and the
here
entire
because
guild
of some
flew forward in
accidents.
one direction, soaring
Hearing
across
that,
the skies.
Galan Liang
While
laughed,
traveling, he
patted
turned
our
toward Jialan
MC
Ling
on the
and
back,
asked, Brother
and said
Ling,
with a smile,
can you tell me about the
luckily
situation
you
in the lower
arrived at this
space?
king-high
Hearing
grassland.
this, Jialan Ling
If you had
chuckled
gone
lightly and
further
said,
into the
no
giant
problem,
leaf forest
little brother,
or the viper
it's a small
wasteland,
matter.
it would
I'll
have
tell
been
you.
extremely
He
dangerous.
then began explaining the situation.
Here's what we'll do, stay
the lower
with us
space
for
is
now.
divided into 4
Once
continents.
we're done with our task
It is said
here,
that these
we'll
4
take you
continents
back
were
with
originally
us.
one whole,
I,
but after a
Galan
great
Liang,
battle,
have
a
a base in the
superpower house
lower
shattered it
space
into
where
4
we've
pieces.
set up a
Now,
teleportation
these
array to
continents are
leave the
separated by
ancient trial
seas.
ground.
Right at the center lies the
Hearing his
battlefield of
words,
that ancient
our
war,
MC
known today
chuckled
as the
and
Devouring
replied
Void.
gratefully,
The
Then I'll
continent we're on
trouble
now
you,
is the
Brother
Wild
Liang.
Continent.
And
Located in the
his mind,
south,
he
he
thought,
continued.
let's use
To the
this
east is the Dragon
opportunity
God
to understand
Continent,
the
to the north is the
situation
Wind
of the
Thunder
lower
Continent,
space.
and to the west is
After
the Limit
finishing
Star
their
Continent.
conversation,
Hearing about all
everyone
these
set out
continents,
together.
our MC directly
Our
asked,
MC and
Brother
the entire
Liang, do you
guild
know where the
flew
Burial
forward
Thunder
in one
Canyon is?
direction,
And if I
soaring
want to go
across the
there,
skies.
how should I get across?
Staying close
In
with
response,
them, our
Jialan
MC
Ling's
also
expression grew
moved ahead.
serious, and he
While
explained,
traveling,
the more
he
convenient
turned
route
toward
is through the
Galan
eastern
Liang
Dragon
and
God
asked,
Continent.
Brother
From there,
Liang,
you can
can
cross
you tell
the
me
Wind
about
Thunder
the
Sea and
situation
enter the
in
Wind
the
Thunder
lower
Continent.
space?
Our giant
Hearing
guild has
this,
already set up a
Galan
teleportation
Liang
array on the
chuckled
Dragon
lightly
God
and said,
Continent,
no
so you can
problem.
teleport from
Little
the
brother,
Wild Continent
it's a
there
small
first.
matter.
However,
I'll tell
there is
you.
no teleportation
Then
array
he
between the
began
Dragon God
explaining the
Continent
situation
and the
here.
Wind Thunder
The
Continent.
lower space
Even I
is
cannot
divided
guarantee
into
that I
4
can send you
continents.
safely across the
It's
Wind
said
Thunder
that
Sea.
these 4
Once we
continents
return to the
were
Dragon God
originally one
Continent,
whole,
I'll
but
think of a
after a
plan and
great
see if I
battle,
can find a team to escort
superpower
you.
house
Lin
shattered it
Moyu
into
listened
4
carefully,
pieces.
taking in every
Now,
crucial
these
detail.
continents are
After hearing
separated
such
by
important
seas,
information,
and right
he
at the
sincerely
center of the
thanked
4
Jialan Ling.
lies the
Thoughts began
battlefield
to
of
stir
that
in his
ancient
heart.
war today.
So right now I'm
It's
at the
known as
southernmost
the
part of the lower
Devouring
space,
Void.
but the Burial
The
Thunder
continent we're
Canyon is in the
standing
far
on
north.
now is the
That's senior.
Wild Continent,
Why would he
located in
send
the
me here?
south of the lower
While our
space.
MC was lost in
To
thought,
the east
the
is
guild
the
suddenly
Dragon
came to a
God
halt.
Continent.
Galan
To the
Ling
north
quickly
is
raised
the
his
Wind
hand,
Thunder
stopping him with a
Continent.
serious
And to
expression.
the west is
Brother
the
Lin
Limit
Moyu,
Star
step
Continent.
back. We've arrived at our
Hearing about
destination.
all these
Down
continents,
below,
our
a monster was
MC
roaming.
directly asked
It was a
Galan
sea-type
Liang,
creature, but
Brother
it was crawling
Liang,
across the
do you
grassland.
know where the
It
Burial
looked
Thunder
mutated,
Canyon
its
is?
body a strange
And
mixture
if
of
I want
fish
to
and
go
frog
there,
with icy
how
shields
should I
formed
get
all
across?
around it. This
In
was the monster
response,
the guild had
Galan
come for.
Liang's
As
expression
soon as they
grew
saw
serious,
it, all the guild
and he
members
explained
descended,
everything
taking
in
their
detail.
battle positions.
The more
Lin
convenient
Moyu also
route
landed,
is through the
stepping
eastern
slightly
Dragon
aside.
God Continent.
Meanwhile,
From
Jialan Ling
there,
swiftly
you can
drew his
cross
shield
the
and
Wind
sword,
Thunder
his
Sea
voice
and
thundering.
enter
The
the
holy
Wind
battle has
Thunder
begun.
Continent.
Everyone, get
Our
ready.
Jialan
The moment
guild has
everyone
already
released
set
their
up a
aura, the monster
teleportation
instantly
array on the
detected their
Dragon
presence
God
through the
Continent.
lantern, like
So you
antenna
can
on its
first
head.
teleport from
That
the
bright,
Wild
glowing
Continent
lantern
to the
began to shine
Dragon God
intensely.
Continent.
At the same time,
However,
all the guild
between
members
the
dropped
Dragon
into
God
attack
Continent
positions,
and the
unleashing
Wind
their skills
Thunder
one after
Continent,
another.
there is
Some
no
used binding while
teleportation
others
array.
cast slumber, but
Even
the
I
instant their
cannot
attack struck
guarantee
the
that I
boss
can
monster,
send you
they were rendered
safely
useless.
across the Wind
The
Thunder
fish,
Sea.
like monster, had
Once
completely
we
nullified
return
their
to the
efforts with
Dragon
its
God
immunity.
Continent,
Seeing
I'll
this,
think of a
one of the
plan
team members
and see
shouted
if I
in
can
alarm.
find a team
No
to
good,
escort you
our control
across.
skills have been immunized.
Our
The
MC
teammate beside him
listened
cried out
carefully,
anxiously.
taking in
We
every
didn't manage
word.
to interrupt its skill.
These were crucial
Just then,
details.
the monster's stats became
After
visible to
hearing
Lin
such
Moyu.
important
Lantern
information,
Firefish owned
he
level,
sincerely
lower level
thanked
boss
Galan
strength,
Liang.
100,000 spirit,
Thoughts began
1
to
million
stir in his
constitution,
heart. So right now,
120,000
I'm at the
skills,
southernmost
radiant
part of
fire
the lower
burst,
space,
radiant fire
but the
meteor,
burial thunder
radiant fire
canyon
shiny
is
one
in the
traits,
far north.
reduced damage
That
from fire
senior
and
really,
water elements,
why would he
enhanced
send me
resistance
here?
against abnormal states.
While our MC
When the
was
glowing
lost
lantern
in
atop
thought,
its head
the
suddenly
guild
rose into the
suddenly
air,
came to a
shining
halt.
brightly and releasing
Galen
a
the
powerful
Young
beam of
quickly
energy.
raised his
As soon
hand
as
in
the guild
front of
members
our
saw it,
MC,
they
stopping
screamed for the
him with a
defense
serious
fighters to raise
expression.
their defenses.
Brother Lin
Instantly,
Moyu, step
defensive
back.
barriers were
We've
created.
arrived at our
However,
destination.
the monster's attack struck
Down
the barriers
below,
with
a
immense crushing
monster was
pressure.
roaming.
Some
It
members
was
were
a
caught in the wave
sea-type
of energy
creature,
and
but
injured,
now it was
while others
crawling
scattered.
across the grassland.
The entire team was struggling
However,
to launch
it looked
attacks under
mutated
this
its
kind of
body, a
suppression.
strange mixture
Galen Ling
of
braced
fish and
himself,
frog,
sweat dripping
with
from his
icy
forehead.
shields formed
Even with the
all around
barriers,
it.
the monster's
This
attack
was
was
the
so
monster
powerful
the
that it
guild
kept
had come
generating
here
overwhelming
for.
pressure, slowly
soon as
dealing
they saw
damage
it,
to everyone
all
inside.
the guild members
Despite his
descended
struggle,
to the ground,
Jiao and
taking
Ling
their
roared,
battle
"Keep attacking!
positions.
Don't stop no
Our
matter what!"
MC
In
also
the blink of an
landed,
eye, a
stepping
storm of attacks
slightly
of every
aside.
type erupted across the
Meanwhile,
battlefield.
Galen
Whirlwinds,
Liang
lightning
swiftly
bolts,
drew out his
torrents of
shield
water,
and sword,
and bursts of fire.
his voice
Watching
thundering
this,
as he
Lin
shouted
Moyu
to
muttered to
everyone,
himself with
"The holy
admiration.
battle has
No
begun,
wonder this
everyone.
team has managed
Get
to survive
ready."
in the lower space
The
for
moment
so long.
everyone
Their
released their
coordination
aura
is
to
flawless.
fight, the
He
monster
whispered, "For
instantly
now,
detected
it seems
their
Brother Ling
presence
has
through the
everything under
lantern-like
control.
antenna
It
on
looks
its
like
head.
they won't need my help."
That bright,
The fight had
glowing
reached a deadly
lantern
turning
began
point.
to shine
In front of the
intensely.
monster stood Jiao and
At
Ling,
the same time,
ready to
all
unleash
the
his
guild
next
members
attack.
dropped
With
into
anger
attack
burning in his eyes,
positions,
he shouted,
unleashing
"This
their
time,
skills one
I'll
after
definitely hit
another
it.
according
I
to
won't
their
miss."
professions.
He then activated a
Some
skill
used
called
binding,
Ultimate Victory.
while others
At
cast
once,
slumber,
his body began
trying
to shine
slow down
brilliantly.
the monster.
Without hesitation,
But the instant
he
their
unleashed a
attacks
devastating
struck the
radiant
boss
energy
monster,
attack straight at the
every
lantern,
single
the
one
very
of them was
object that had been
rendered
protecting the
useless.
boss.
This
As his strike
fish-like
landed,
monster
Jiao
had
and Ling
completely
roared, "The
nullified
lantern has
their
been cut
efforts
down.
with its immunity.
As long as we control it and
Seeing
don't let the
this,
monster
one
take
of
it
the
back,
team members
victory is
shouted
ours."
in
The
alarm,
lantern
"No
firefish
good.
let out a pained
Our
cry.
control
With
skills
no way
have
left
been
to attack,
immunized."
it desperately
The
tried
teammate
to escape,
beside him
but
cried
the
out
team had already
anxiously,
surrounded it.
"We didn't
Just as
manage
their
to
combined
interrupt
assault
its
was about to
skill."
land,
The
Lin Moyu
monster was
suddenly froze,
completely
sensing
unaffected
something
by their
strange.
attacks,
At the
shielded
same
by
moment,
its
the
immunity
other team
stats.
members also felt an
Just
overwhelming
then,
surge
the
of power
stats
rushing
of the
toward them
monster
from behind.
became visible to
"Everyone,
our MC.
be careful,"
"This
they
is
shouted.
the lantern
A
fire
powerful
fish,
area
a
effect
lord
attack
level
came soaring
boss.
from the rear.
Its
The team
strength
turned,
is
their
100,000.
eyes widening, but it
Its
was too
spirit
late.
is 1
The
million.
attack struck the
Its
ground right
constitution
beside them
is
with an
12.
explosive impact,
It can use the
blasting through their
skills
formation.
Radiant Fire Burst,
Many members were thrown
Radiant Fire
aside,
Meteor,
groaning
and
in pain.
Radiant Fire Shine.
This sudden strike gave the
Its
lantern
traits are
firefish
that
the
it
perfect
takes reduced
opportunity.
damage from
With speed
fire
born of
and water
desperation,
elements,
it snatched
and
up
it
its
has
severed
enhanced
lantern and
resistance
fled.
against
Jiao
abnormal
and Ling's
states.
face twisted in rage
The
as he
glowing
glared at the
lantern
attackers.
atop its head
His voice
suddenly
thundered,
rose
"Black
into the
Dragon
air,
Club bastards,
shining brightly
you're looking for
and
death."
releasing a
One above
powerful
them,
beam of
figures
energy.
from the Black Dragon
This
Club
energy
appeared.
was
At their lead was a man
overwhelmingly
riding a
dangerous.
horse with his team
As
members
soon as the
following
guild
him.
members
With a
saw
mocking
it,
grin,
they
he
screamed
called out,
urgently to
"What a
the
pity.
defense-type
The boss was
fighters
just
to
about to
raise
die,
defenses."
and yet, it managed to
Instantly,
escape.
defensive
Next time you
barriers
want to
were
find
created
it,
all
I'm afraid
across
it'll
the
take
area.
quite a while.
However,
Hearing this,
the
Jiao and
monster's
Ling's eyes
attack
burned with
struck
cold
against the
fury as he
barriers,
growled, "Are you
creating an
Black
immense
Dragon Club
crushing
dogs
pressure.
planning to start an all-out war
Some
with our
members
giant
were
guild?"
caught in the
One
wave
but the
of
man only
energy and
laughed.
injured,
No,
while
no,
others
we never
scattered
planned
to
for
the
war.
sides.
We only
The
want one
entire
thing,
team was
to kill you.
struggling to
The
launch
moment those
attacks
words left
under
his
this
lips,
kind of
Jiao and
suppression.
Ling's eyes flashed.
Galen
His voice was
Liang
sharp,
braced himself
laced with
against
fury,
the force of
just
the
with you
attack,
worthless trash.
sweat dripping from
At that,
his forehead.
the enemy leader smirked
Even
and
with the
reached into
barriers
his
in
inventory.
place, the
In his hand
monster's
appeared an
attack was
abyss
so
magic stone.
powerful that it kept
Instantly,
generating
waves of dark
overwhelming
energy
pressure,
erupted from it.
slowly
Laughing
dealing
madly,
damage
he
to
shouted,
everyone
"On our own,
inside.
we might not be
Despite
enough.
his struggle,
But what if we add
Galen
this?"
Liang,
The leader of the Black Dragon
of the
Society,
Black Dragon
heading his
Society,
team,
who was
pulled the
leading
abyss
his
stone
team,
from his inventory to
pulled out
destroy
the
the
abyss
giant
stone
guild.
from his
The moment the
inventory
stone was
to
revealed,
destroy the
it began
Giant
releasing
Guild.
dark energy that spread
The
across
moment
the
the abyss
entire
stone
area.
was taken out,
Everyone
it
present
began
instantly
releasing
recognized the
dark
abyss magic
energy
stone
that spread
because the
across
dark
the
energy
entire
leaking from
area.
it was affecting the entire
Everyone
place.
present instantly
As soon as Galen
recognized
Ling
the
saw the
abyss
magic
magic
stone, his eyes
because
widened
the
in
dark
shock and
energy
fury.
leaking from it
He
was
shouted to
affecting
everyone,
the
"This
entire
is the
place
abyss
where
magic
they
stone."
stood.
His anger
As
surged,
soon
and
as
with rage
Galen
burning in his
Liang
voice,
saw that
he
this
glared at
was
the Black
indeed a
Dragon
magic
Society and
stone,
roared,
his
"You have
eyes
actually joined
widened in
forces with
shock
the
and
abyss.
fury.
You are
He
traitors to
shouted
the
at
human
everyone,
race." Hearing
"This
Ling's
is the
furious
abyss
words,
magic
the
stone."
leader of the Black Dragon
His anger
Society remained
surged
calm
even
and replied
further,
in a
and
composed
with
tone,
rage
"Don't
burning
make
in
it
his
sound so
voice,
unpleasant.
he glared
We are
at the
only in a
Black
cooperative
Dragon
relationship,
Society and
each
roared,
taking what we need."
"You actually
As soon
joined
as he said
forces
this,
with the
he
abyss.
casually crushed
You
the
are
abyss
traitors
stone
of
with
the
his
human
fingers.
race."
The moment the abyss
Hearing
stone
Liang's
shattered, the dark
furious
energy
words,
inside burst
the
out
leader
violently,
of the Black
swirling
Dragon
as a strange
Society
circular
remained
formation
calm
began to
and
appear.
replied in a
From within that
composed
dark
tone,
energy,
"Don't
a
make
vague
it
figure
sound
slowly
so
emerged.
unpleasant.
As the
We are
dark mist
only in a
faded, the
cooperative
figure revealed
relationship.
itself.
Each each taking
It was none
what
other
we
than the
need.
demon Mia.
And
She was
as
the
soon
one
as
who
he
had
said
previously
this,
been tracking
he
the hero,
casually pinched
Lin
the
Moyu.
abyss stone
Her level
with
was
his
83.
fingers and crushed
The
it.
instant Mia appeared,
The
Lin
moment
Moyu's
the
eyes
abyss
locked
stone
onto her.
shattered,
His
the
heart
dark
stirred as he
energy
recognized
inside
her
burst out
immediately.
violently.
So she's really
Swirling
here,
as a
he
strange
thought,
circular
focusing entirely
formation
on her
began
presence.
to appear.
On the other
From
side,
within that
when the
dark
people of the
energy,
giant guild
a
saw the
vague
demon
figure
Mia, fear
slowly
flashed across their
emerged.
faces.
As
Some
the
of them
dark
trembled
mist
as they
faded
shouted,
away,
"Black
the
Dragon
figure
Society,
revealed itself.
have you lost
It
your
was
minds?
none other than
As long
the
as even
demon
one of
Mia
us
or
survives
Mina.
and carries this news back
We
to the
had
human
seen her
race,
before
you are
she was
finished."
the one who
But
had
Mia,
previously
hovering
been
gracefully in
tracking
the
our
air,
hero.
only laughed
Her
playfully.
level was 83.
With a charming smile, she
The
looked
instant
directly at
Mia
Galen Ling
appeared,
and spoke in
our
a teasing
hero's
tone.
eyes locked
"Brother
onto
Ling,
her.
how could I
His
ever bear
heart
to kill
stirred
you?
as he
This time,
recognized her
I've come to
immediately.
discuss cooperation with
So,
you."
she's
While
really
she
here,
spoke,
he
she had
thought,
already activated her
focusing
charm
entirely
ability,
on her
and the members
presence.
of the giant guild
On
fell
the
under her
other side,
hypnosis,
when the
drawn
people of
toward
the
her.
Jailan
Everyone
Guild
lost
saw
their
the
mental
demon
balance,
Mia,
trapped by
fear
the charm,
flashed across
and
their
advanced toward
faces.
Mia with a
Some
desperate
of them
longing to
trembled
possess her.
as they shouted,
Every member of the
"Black
team was
Dragon
caught in the charm's
Society,
grip,
have you
except
lost
for
your
Galen
minds?"
Ling. Lin
As
looked at
long
his
as even
teammates
one
and
of
saw
us
their enchanted
survives and
behavior.
carries this
None of them
news
were in
back
their
to
right
the human
minds,
race,
all reaching
you
out
are
toward the
finished.
demon Mia.
But Mia,
Seeing this, Lin
hovering
immediately used
gracefully
his
in the
ability
air,
and unleashed a
only
powerful
laughed
attack into
playfully.
the area,
With
shouting,
a charming
"Wake
smile,
up, all of
she
you!"
looked directly
The instant
at
his
Li
attack
Yang
struck
and
the
spoke
ground,
in a
its
teasing
tremendous
tone.
pressure snapped
Brother
everyone out
Li
of the
Yang,
charm.
how could
As
I
they
ever
came to their
bear to kill
senses,
you?
their faces
This
tightened,
time,
sweat
I've come
beaded on
to
their
discuss
foreheads, and
cooperation
fear
with
filled
you.
their hearts.
While she
All of them were
spoke,
panting
she had
and
already
shaken.
activated
At that
her
moment,
charm ability,
someone cried out,
and the members
trembling,
of the
"Is this the
Jialan
power of
Guild
a
fell
succubus?"
under her
Another,
hypnosis.
pale and frightened,
Because of her
whispered,
charm,
so
they were being
terrifying.
drawn toward
Without
her.
even realizing
Everyone
it,
lost the
I was
balance
lost in
of
that
their
force.
minds.
Mia
They were
smiled at the
trapped by
sight
the charm,
and said teasingly,
advancing
as
toward
expected
Mia
of Brother
with a
Ling,
desperate
"Your will
longing
truly
to
is
possess
firm."
her.
What a pity, though,
Every member
your
of the team
companions
was
don't seem
caught
up
in
to
the
the
charm's
task.
grip.
Then,
Everyone
she
except
immediately used her
Li
succubus
Yang.
charm ability again.
Li Yang looked
From
at
her
his
lips,
teammates
she
and
released a
saw them
powerful
behaving
charm.
like this.
As the power
None
mixed
of
into
them
the
were
air,
in their
the
right
guild members
minds.
once again fell
All
into
of
its
them were
grasp and were
reaching out
confusedly
toward
drawn
that
toward
demon
Mia.
Mia,
Because of
enchanted.
this new charm,
Seeing
even
them like
Ling was
that,
slightly
Li
affected.
Yang immediately
Sweat ran
used
down
his
his brow
ability
as his mind
and
slowly
unleashed
began
a
to lose
powerful
balance.
attack into the
He thought in
area,
alarm,
shouting,
"Her power is
"Wake
like waves
up, all of
constantly
you."
battering my
The
spiritual
instant
world.
his attack
If
struck
I'm
the
overwhelmed,
ground,
I will
its
become her
tremendous
slave,
pressure
her puppet."
snapped
Now
everyone
Mia
out
had
of the
gained
charm
control
ability.
over everyone present.
As they came out
At
of
that
the
moment,
charm, their
Lin Moyu
faces
charged at full
tightened,
speed toward the
sweat
Black
beaded
Dragon
on their
Society and
foreheads,
Mia.
and fear
Without looking
filled their
directly,
hearts,
Mia
all of them
smiled and said
panting and
mockingly,
shaken.
"So there's still
At
little
that
nobody
moment
here.
someone cried
His
out,
level is too
trembling,
low. I
"Is
didn't
this
notice
the
him at
power
first."
of a
But
succubus?"
when her gaze fell on the
Another,
hero,
pale
her
and
eyes
frightened,
widened.
whispered,
Sweat broke out on her
so
temples and she
terrifying
asked,
without even
frightened,
realizing
"Lin
it,
Moyu,
I was
how are you
lost
here?"
in that force.
Hearing that, Lin Moyu
Mia
smiled and waved his
at that
hand,
sight
saying,
and said
"It's been a long
teasingly,
time.
"As
How have you
expected
been?"
of Brother Li
Mia
Yang, your
froze.
will truly is
Confusion and
firm.
fear written across
What
her
a pity,
face.
though your
Her mind reeled
companions
at his
don't seem
words.
up to the task.
A long time
Tilda
since we
then,
met.
immediately,
What kind of question
she
is
used
that?
her succubus
This is the
charm
one who can kill the
ability
Flame
again.
Demon King's avatar.
From her lips, she
Without
released
Demon
a
King,
powerful
level
charm
strength,
ability.
and must
As
not
the
anger
power
him.
mixed into
Standing
the air,
below,
the
Lin
guild
watched
members
everything and
once again
astonished.
fell
Asked
into
the
its
hero,
grasp
"Brother
and
Lin,
became
do you know this
confusedly
demon?"
drawn toward
By
Mia.
now, the mental pressure had
Because of this
completely
new
vanished.
charm,
The
even
fact
Li
that the
Yang
pressure
was
disappeared
slightly
the moment
affected.
Lin Moyu appeared
Sweat
made Lin a
ran
little
down his
uneasy.
brow.
Hearing
His
Ling's
mind was
question,
slowly
Lin
losing
Moyu
balance.
replied, "I met her in the
Seeing
upper
this,
realm.
he thought in
She
alarm,
tried to kill me,
her
but she
power
didn't
is like
succeed."
waves
Then,
constantly
looking at
battering
Mia,
my
he added,
spiritual world.
"Last time you couldn't kill
If I'm
me.
overwhelmed,
Why not try
I will
again
become
now?
her slave,
Maybe you'll
her
manage to
puppet."
kill me this time."
Now Mia had
Each word
gained
from the hero
control
sent
over
Mia into a
everyone
panic.
present.
Her body
At
trembled.
that moment,
In a
we see
terrified
our
voice,
hero
she
charging
cried,
at full
"No,
speed
I didn't
toward
want
the
to kill
Black
you.
Dragon
Please,
Society
Mighty
and
One,
Mia.
don't punish someone as
Without looking
insignificant as me.
directly,
Don't
Mia
bully me."
smiled and
Hearing
said
this,
mockingly,
Lin Moyu
"So
smiled and
there's
said,
still a little
"If you don't
nobody
try, how will
here.
you ever know?"
His level
The
is
instant
too
she heard
low.
that,
I didn't
Mia's
notice
whole
him at
body shook.
first."
She frantically
But when
waved her
her gaze
hands,
fell on
shaking
our
her head
hero,
and stammering.
her eyes
"No,
widened.
it's not like
Sweat
that.
broke out
You
on
go
her
on and do
temples,
your thing.
and she
I'll
asked,
leave."
frightened,
Saying that,
"Lin
Mia
Moyu,
fled.
you,
In her
how are
haste,
you
she
here?"
pulled out an abyss stone
Hearing
and cursed
that,
through clenched
our
teeth,
hero
"Damn
smiled
Black
and
Dragon
waved his
Society.
hand, saying,
You almost got me
"It's
killed."
been a long
She
time
crushed the
since
abyss
I saw
stone,
you.
but the portal still
How
wouldn't
have
open.
you been?"
Biting her
Mia
lip,
froze,
she urged,
confusion
"Open quickly.
and fear written
There isn't
across
much
her
time."
face.
When the
Her
portal
mind
finally began
reeled
to
at
open,
those words,
Mia
"A
immediately
long
rushed
time
toward it to
since we
escape.
met."
At that
What
same
kind
instant,
of question is
Lin
that?
Moyu launched a soul
This
flame
is the
attack
one who
at her.
can kill the
The soul
Flame
flame
Demon
struck
King's
Mia,
avatar.
and she screamed in pain.
Without Demon King
After
level
delivering the
strength,
attack,
I
the
must
hero
not
laughed
anger
and said,
him.
"You escaped
Standing
pretty
below,
fast."
Li Yang
Watching this
watched
from below,
everything and,
Galen Ling was
astonished,
staring in
asked our
disbelief.
hero,
Seeing Lin
"Brother
Moyu
Lin,
and the
do
top
you
demon running
know
off like
this
that,
demon?"
he muttered to himself,
By now, the
"What did
mental
I just
pressure
see?"
had
That
completely
top demon,
vanished,
she
and
saw
the
Brother
fact
Lin
that the
and just
moment
fled.
Lin appeared,
The
the
Black
pressure
Dragon Society
disappeared,
leader
made
had the
Li Yang
exact
a
same
little
thought.
uneasy.
Seeing Mia driven
Hearing
off left
Li
him
Yang's
stunned.
question,
The leader
our hero
exclaimed in
replied,
surprise,
"I
"What
met her in
happened?
the upper
Where did
realm.
the succubus go.
She tried to
now
kill me,
everything was
but
settled.
she didn't succeed.
There were no demons left,
Then,
only the people of
looking
the
at
Giant
Mia,
Guild and
he
the Black
added,
Dragon Society
"Last time
remain."
you couldn't kill
Lin
me.
Moyu descended and came
Why
up
not
beside
try
Galen
again
Ling,
now?
asking,
Maybe
"I want
you'll
to kill
manage
these
to
people,
kill me this
Brother
time."
Ling. What do you
Each
think?"
word from
Hearing
our
the
hero
hero,
sent
Ling
Mia
said
into
seriously,
panic.
"They
Her
colluded
body
with the
trembled.
Abyss. They
In a
deserve to be
terrified
executed
voice,
by
she
all.
cried,
But that
"No, I
Onmyoji
didn't
is the
want to
Black
kill
Dragon
you.
Society
Please,
leader's son.
mighty one,
He has a
don't
soul
punish
imprint.
someone as
Even if you kill him,
insignificant as me.
he will revive."
Don't bully
Lin
me."
Moyu looked at him and
Hearing
asked,
this,
"What if
our
it can make
hero
it so he
smiled
cannot
and
revive?"
said, "If
Then
you
he
don't
thought,
try,
the Earth
how
Dragon
will
said
you
that as
ever
long
know?"
as one can erase the
The
opponent's
instant
soul,
she heard
the
that,
soul imprint will
Mia's
be
whole
invalid.
body shook.
Hearing this,
She
Ling said
frantically
seriously,
waved her hands,
"If that's the case,
shaking her
then
head
kill them
and
all."
stammering.
At those
"No,
words,
it's not
Lin
like
Moyu
that.
stepped forward and
You
said,
go on and do
"All
your
right,
thing.
I'll handle
leave."
this myself.
Saying that,
You don't
Mia
need to
fled.
come." He stood
In her
directly in
haste,
front of the
she
Black
pulled
Dragon
out an abyss
Society.
stone
Their
and
leader
cursed
stepped
through
forward and
clenched
said to
teeth.
him, "Although I
"Damn
don't know what
Black
you did to make
Dragon
the succubus
Society,
leave,
you almost
how
got
dare
me
level
killed."
52 won't
She
come to me
crushed
to
the
die."
abyss stone,
Immediately,
but the portal
Lin
still
Moyu
wouldn't
activated
open.
Bone Prison.
Biting her
Bone
lip
Chains
between
shot
her
out at full
teeth,
speed and
she
began to
urged,
catch every Black
"Open
Dragon
quickly.
Society
There
member.
isn't much
Trapped in
time."
the Bone Prison,
When the portal
each member was
finally
stunned,
began to
unable
open,
to understand
Mia
what was happening,
immediately rushed
surprised
toward
that
it
they
to
couldn't move
escape.
their bodies.
At
After
that
catching
same
them all,
instant, our
Lin
hero
Moyu summoned his
launched a
skeleton
soul
warriors and
flame
used the
attack
strong
at Mia.
soldier ability.
The soul
When he summoned
flame
the skeleton
struck her,
warriors,
and
he
she
said with
screamed
grim
in
resolve,
pain.
if we are to
After
kill them,
delivering
then
the
kill them
attack,
thoroughly.
our hero
Leave
laughed
them not
and
a
said,
single chance.
"You escaped
All the
pretty
skeletons,
fast."
empowered by strong soldier,
Watching this
stood
below,
at full strength on the
Galen
field,
Leung was
their huge
staring in
axes and swords
disbelief.
ready.
Seeing
They
our
waited
hero
only for the
and
hero's
top
command.
demon Mir
Lin
run off
Moyu
like
gave
that,
the order at once.
he muttered to
Go,
himself,
wipe them all out.
"What did I just
As the
see?"
skeletons heard the
That
command,
top
they
demon
surged
she
forward
saw
at full
Brother
speed,
Lin and just
carrying
fled.
their massive axes and
The
swords,
Black Dragon
charging straight
leader
at
had
them.
exactly